Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Ken's Tavern. It's been a while.
Welcome.
It's been some time, my friends. Welcome back. I hope everybody's doing well. Apologies for the longer wind-in time there. We just kind of last minute. Talia was going to be joining us today, but Poxy's internet is not super great out there in the wilderness, wherever Talia might be. So we had to just make a quick swivel, but we are still going forward with D&D today, and it's going to be a ton of fun, and we're super excited to be back. So thank you so much for waiting, and yeah. Without further ado, let's get back into it. So if you're new to Ken's Tavern and you're just joining us for the first time, we are a group of completely random, chaotic people who enjoy playing D&D in, of course, its various methods. We tend to play with 5e rules, but it is a little bit homebrew as well, so it's kind of one of those things. If there is something with the rules that we are unsure of, we will usually do a quick discussion. If you're in the chat and you want to help us out, feel free to drop in what you know about the rules. And if it's going to take too long, I usually will make the call as the DM and continue it on so the story doesn't falter too much. Not that we don't ever get totally sidetracked during this campaign at all, ever. But
never.
Let's
never.
do
what? When have we would never?
as everyone sidetracks me, proving us completely wrong. But let's introduce everybody once again, just to get to know everybody. It's been so long. We've forgotten everybody's faces. We have no idea what we're doing. We'll quickly introduce everybody. I'll do a quick overview of what happened last session, and then we'll get into it. So, joining us again, we have Vittori, played by Saint Geronimo. Also Yon. Also, Yon is Naren. Welcome back, Naren.
Welcome back, Meekle.
That is my name.
It's
No,
awkward.
it's not.
That
You're
is my
Nickel
name.
with an N, not with an M.
Oh, you said Mickle. Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. It still sounded like
Yes.
Nickel. Hey, Lady Echoes. Oh, sorry to hear you're not feeling well, but D&D will make you feel better for sure. For sure, it's the cure to everything. So,
Nickel.
Mickle.
You're,
Also returning.
wait, nickel.
Go ahead.
Nickel, you're worth like 5 cents.
Yes, it's true. I am 5 cents.
Mhm.
5 cents only. Cassie, like
On the
That's-
dollar.
Oh,
Seems like kind of an insult, Aaron.
dear.
Kind of mean.
So about that
We'll take
sidetracking.
More than a penny.
I'm an insult? I mean, yeah, if you called somebody an insult. Okay, sorry, I'll
Ooh.
stop talking now.
My internet's frying a little bit here too. This is fun. It's gonna be a good day.
Let's go back to introduction.
Sorry, my internet
Like we said, we
paused,
never get
and,
sidetracked.
We never get sidetracked. Everything is totally safe here. We just are always on the right spot. Also joining us again, of course, we have Cirrus, played by that censored rat, also known as Marcus. Welcome back.
Why? Hello.
Hi.
Only.
Oh dear.
Hi.
Rejoining us as well, the loud, the ever. I'm trying to think of a good word. This is gonna be a great improv day. But welcome back, Ivan, played by Mikey Likes.
Present. Ha, ha, ha.
Ever present.
Hello, everybody.
Cirrus's picture? No, that's Cirrus. It's just art done by one of our artists. But yeah, welcome back, Ivan. Thanks for rejoining us. We also have Argonus, the holder of torches and mower of lawns. Welcome back, Dust and Echoes.
Hello, good to be back.
Excellent to have you back.
Yep.
And last but not least, ever brooding, Lena, played by Call Me Ames. Welcome back.
Hello. I don't know how to play D&D, and I'm mesmerized by the pictures lighting up and just staring at them.
Yeah, I honestly, like, that's so cool.
I am very impressed with myself. I'm so glad I figured this out. If anybody wants to know how to do this for your own campaigns or whatever you are working on in your own channels, let me know. I found the YouTube video and it was like super easy to do. And like shout outs to that person. I can't remember who they are, but I will totally shout it out at the end because it was actually really easy to do. So thank gosh for YouTube and YouTube tutorials because it definitely helped me through. But yeah, I'm excited. So hopefully this will help you as well if you're not sure of who we are. Like I know it for those of us who, you know, have played games together for a while, it's easy for us to tell who's talking, but if you're new to the channel, this makes it a little bit easier to see like which character's actually chatting. So hopefully it'll make it a little bit more easy to watch, which is pretty cool. Let's do a quick recap of last day. It was a little bit all over the place, so let me see if I can piece it together. Feel free to jump in, crew, if I forget anything generally important. It was like literally so long ago, so this should be pretty exciting. But, gosh, it was right after the tornado, so that happened, and then we found Hazel and Ivan from the locked bank vault. They were able to get out. Hazel, of course, is at the moment no longer a werewolf, which is fantastic. We saw Amber Lamps and Sneed and Snod helping out the rest of the city, and the group kind of split up to meet outside of the city after, of course, Hazel was labeled as being a imposter of the princess who the royal family has stated is actually dead. So we wanted to get Hazel out of the city as fast as possible. So I believe that we put Hazel with Amber Lamps and like flew them out. I think we just lost Argonus. Oh, Argonus is back. The pictures go dark. Like the pictures disappear, and it's like I said, it was like Hogwarts with the live paintings, and people just kind of peace out for a little bit, and it's kind of an easy way to tell who's still around.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. We took multiple paths to sort of get out of town, and then it was, of course, late at night, so there was no shopping. Sorry, Ivan. I know we wanted to shop really bad, but we made our way slowly out of town around various guards, and we met at the Rolling Cheese Inn outside of town in sort of the poorer area that was outside the city walls. There at the Rolling Cheese, everybody took a nice rest. We also had, of course, Gilm and Corinth still with us, as well as Hazel. So we all rested at the inn, had a few various conversations, and overheard a couple conversations between different people. Talia met Severus the Sneal, or re-met Severus the Sneal, who was the messenger seal sent to let Talia know that it was time to come back to the Ocean Kingdom, as there was danger afoot in the Ocean Kingdom. So that was where we were sort of headed. We also said goodbye to Hazel, Corinth, and Gilm as they headed back to the city of KLE, the Thieves' City across Telemaian. So they began their long journey back. So we said our emotional goodbyes to those folks. And what else happened? Ivan took a bath in a pig trough, we're pretty sure. Vittori stole some cheese from the inn owner of the Rolling Cheese Inn. And I believe Lena flipped Argonis out of a bed. That happened. And I actually think there was also another flip. I think that was a repercussion. So I think it was like a revenge flip. So there's something else happened in there as I was listening to all of it. But that pretty much sums it up. Am I missing anything from the recap? It was quite a chaotically restful episode.
I don't think so.
I
That
think
was
you've
everything.
covered pretty much everything.
Fantastic. I'm glad that I covered most of that. Perfect. All right, let's get into it. So a couple things, like I said, Talia was going to be joining us today, but because Poxy's internet is not super great, I feel like all of us are having internet issues, so I do apologize in advance. If the stream stutters out, please let me know if it is severe. If it is like really bad, I could maybe take a break and see if I can rework it. Not sure if there's much I can do. I think it right now is my internet provider. It should be okay, but I'm seeing some spotty stuff with Streamlabs. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. If it absolutely gets terrible, please let me know and I can try to see what I can do. Like at this point, it's saying I have like 18% dropped frames, which that really sucks. Anyway, but yeah, please keep me posted if you see anything wacky there. And we do have some sound stuff going on, so I know Argonis's mic might be a little low and cutting out a little bit there. So if you can't hear Argonis, let me know and I can play around with the sounds there as well. Anyone else have any issues that we should keep an eye out for? I think it would be okay.
The only issue I have is a cat that might start screaming, but
But
you have a
Yeah.
bird, so
I have 3 dogs who bark constantly, and Mother is cleaning, so
perfect.
might be some background noise.
Yeah, background noise. Yeah, we can definitely handle that. If it gets like too much or something, again, let us know and we will do our best to manage it. But other than that, that should be okay. All right, here we go. So, in the last moment, what we were sort of doing is Talia had received the missive from the Ocean Kingdom about asking sort of every water genasi from the Ocean Kingdom that was out and about in the world to return to help the kingdom. We don't know any more information than that. The party decided that they would like to go with Talia, and they were about to head south along the coast to try to find a boat somewhere. They sort of decided that going back through the city to steal a boat or commandeer a boat might not be the best idea, but heading south would maybe give them an option of finding another town that doesn't recognize all their faces. So that was sort of where we were headed, but Talia, let's say Talia has kind of hopped out to go ahead to see if she can figure out a way where everybody can join them more easily to get to the Ocean Kingdom. And we'll just kind of say that Talia is out for now. So the options here is we could continue south, attempt to find a city or town along the coast that is not the capital city that can find us a boat to get to the Ocean Kingdom. A couple other things we know from the last episode is that, Corinth and Gilm discussed a little bit of the strange happenings back in KLE, the Thieves' City, which is on the other side of Telemaian. So that's quite the journey to the other side, but would probably pass through places like Peekabou. There's also the option of maybe checking out southern Telemaian, which is where Argonis is from in the mountain ranges, as well as Ivan. So there's sort of some areas we could go in the southern part. So you folks kind of know about that. I know Argonis had mentioned it might be time to stop on by home to see how everybody's doing, as Argonis kind of left there in maybe not so good of a spot. And yeah, I think that's kind of all we had heard. So where do we feel like doing?
I want to go north.
Excellent. Anything
Why-
particular
Kane,
north?
I'll go
Why
south.
north?
I'm going south.
North
Why
is always
north?
an option.
I want to go to the far north, nice and cold. Sorry, Dustin. Go ahead.
Do we know of any other towns like along the coast to the south?
So, I'll say I know that Talia has sort of skipped off for now, but you folks did have Talia's map, and on their map you were able to see that there's a few places along the coast that are like on the map. Talia didn't have a very good one of the entirety of Talamaian. It was mostly the coast and the ocean, but you know to the south there is quite a large settlement called Loch, which is along the coast. Below that is, there's a pretty wide river. There is a little bit of an inland town from there called Ishka, but it's not quite on the coast. It's more like in a slightly down, upriver, I guess. Upriver from the coast. And then past the river, there is another southern town called Tunag, but it's quite a bit farther. So Loch is sort of the next one along the coast that is fairly large. So there are definitely ones that are south of you.
Say we go to Loch, was it that you said?
Yeah, Loch is the
Yeah,
next
that-
southernmost city from you.
I'd say let's go there because they are most likely to have like at least one boat that we
Yeah.
can
Right.
borrow, quote unquote.
Borrow, yeah, sure.
Or if we could charter said boat, but we also need money for that.
Yeah, that's why I said we could borrow it.
Yeah. I mean, I do have
Uh,
quite a bit of gold.
so
And
do I,
so-
but I'm cheap as fuck.
That's fair.
What happened to all of Ivan's jewels that he stole? Did he give them back?
I mean, I don't
Good
think
question.
he
It
can
doesn't
really,
talk about it.
I don't think he can really do anything with it.
I was trying
I
to-
Considering-
mean, he,
I was trying to find a spot to sell, but
I mean, we are kind of wanted. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's much you can do with the jewels.
how are you wanted? They don't know I'm with people.
Well, we did kind of break a prisoner out of the
They know it
dungeon.
was us. Did we get caught?
And I'm pretty sure at least some of the guards saw our faces.
What? Well, cover your face next time.
Oh, we're working.
yeah, or just pretend to be some cute rodent.
I mean, I could do that.
I mean, I could attempt it. I don't think that's going to turn out very well.
Is there any? I don't know. Yeah, let's just go to Lock. Maybe you can sell
That's-
your
Yeah.
jewels there.
What jewels?
Okay.
The jewels that you
Good
don't have.
steal.
I don't have jewels.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
Let's just go to Loch because Vittori feels like commandeering a ship.
All right. So that's a consensus, heading south along the coast. Get to Loch.
I think
Sure.
it is.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you folks sort of bundle up, and I think we sort of already said goodbye to the Rolling Cheese Inn. Like we'd said bye to the innkeeper and all of that good stuff. So yeah, let's start our travels. Everybody again is full up. You've had a long rest, all of those good things. So you are pretty ready to go. Along the south, you do see that there is quite like a well-pathed road that heads along the coast. This is a pretty active trading route between the capital city and the various coast cities to the south. So This is a pretty active trading route. It's not super busy at the moment. You're leaving fairly early in the day, but it's like a well-paved path. So as you head along, it winds down the south and alongside the beach and the coast. So you can kind of go right along the ocean. There's quite a lovely beach for a lot of it. Some of it kind of heads uphill and you get sort of the chalky cliff face, but overall it's a pretty well laid path. So for this particular piece, because you are traveling on this trade route, there is not like any sort of chance of big monsters happening. It's pretty well traveled and well patrolled as well along this kind of road. So the most that you're going to probably run into is just various people who are headed between the two cities. Do you folks want to roll me a quick? Let's see. Let's do a D10 here for me. Someone roll me a D10.
E10. The number is 9.
Ooh, awesome. Okay. Number 9. Let me see. 1, 2, 3.
I roll a 5 out of 10.
Okay, I think I just needed 1, but thank you. Thanks for your 5, though. We'll take the 9.
I thought we all needed to roll.
Okay, for number
I thought
9.
we all needed to roll.
No worries. Thank you, though. For number 9, as you're headed along the path, you come across just a short little man. He's human, but he's definitely a little older, so he's kind of hunched over, but he is slowly trotting along with his little caravan. I feel like last time I said caravan, nobody knew what it said. Nobody knew what I meant. His little carriage following him along, and his little donkey that's pulling this carriage. And on the side of the carriage, a little kind of shabbily done painting shows the symbol of a potion bottle. He doesn't make too much eye contact with you as he's arriving up the road from you, but he does appear to be perhaps a merchant of some sort of potions.
Would we
You
like to
there.
stop? Okay, we're stopping.
Hey, we're stopping him.
Release the dogs!
Release the hounds!
They were his guard dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Two small dogs poke their heads out from the caravan. I'm gonna say caravan.
It's
That's just what I call
a tiny white dog.
a small white
A
dog
wagon.
barks at
So
you
fierce.
from the carriage.
Dore barks back.
I make eye contact with the dog.
Lena makes eye contact
Tell
with
it
the
to
dog.
shut up.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Please take
18.
into account that it's a tiny white dog, and tiny white dogs have no sense of fear.
Oh, but the
True.
tiny white dog did roll a 1. So,
Aw.
Lena, you stare intimidatingly at this small white dog in the caravan. It kind of gives a little whimper and pulls its head back in behind the curtain, disappears back into it. Does anybody want to talk to the traveling merchant at all?
Why, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see what potions you got.
Couldn't hurt.
He kind of stares up at you, blinks blearily. I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
No, we were talking to your dog. Yes, we were talking to you.
I mean,
Pick Mouse Man up. And
You think you're
epic
really
mouse
funny?
movement.
I'm having trouble locating your voice, but it must be one of you that's talking to me. Just like can't see.
It's
between
this
your-
little one.
I would like to climb his leg.
Okay.
That's impolite.
Well, you have
You
to
climb
climb
his
the
leg.
wagon first. He's still in it.
He's walking
caravan.
alongside it. It's like
Oh,
a
now
really
he's walking-
small. Yeah, he's trotting alongside it, and he has this old like kind of grizzled donkey that's pulling this small little carriage. Like it's why I kind of called it a caravan because it's not really a carriage. He's not sitting on it. It's more like a really small like merchant's cart. I guess I should
Cart.
call it more like a cart. Yeah.
Heart. I see. This man's pretty tired, eh?
Yeah. Definitely.
I can end his life.
Oh, oh.
We don't.
No,
Excuse
we're
me?
not ending his life.
I'm sorry.
We're not.
You're looking.
Nothing.
You're looking for your wife.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Do you have any? What are you selling, my guy?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Suddenly he jumps into action. He has like a little bit more energy. Like you feel like he's gonna start running around, but it's just like slightly faster. Kind of creaks around, flips open the curtain on the little cart, and you see nice little shelves. So each of them, there's little potions set into kind of divots in the wood so that they're held in place as the cart kind of bounces over any stones. You see the little white dog is there. Kind of hiding in the corner, glaring at Lena and the rest of you, but there's quite a few potions in here. He begins kind of shuffling around, eyes you up again, still like, obviously his eyesight's pretty bad, can't really identify who you folks are, but someone said they wanted to look at what he was selling, so he's pretty excited. Alright, so what kind of potions might you be looking for?
I'll look at whatever you got.
Depends. What potions do you offer?
Oh, well, I've got a few here today. Let's see. He's gonna pull out a couple specific ones. So he has a couple of potions of healing. So kind of just regular potions of healing. You can see that he's got a couple of those there. And then I'm gonna roll here to see what kind of fancy ones he's got. Let's take a look.
On flight.
Let's see. All right, so he's got one filter of love.
Ooh.
Oh.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4. A potion of gaseous form.
Oh.
Yeah, that is
All right, I had the
I'll get on
beans.
with that.
Potion of greater healing. And we're gonna do one more. And a potion of animal friendship.
Okay, you already know what I want. How much for the potion of animal friendship?
Oh, well, this one here, this takes a little bit of preparation, and it's one of my finer brews. This one would probably set you back about 200 gold pieces there.
Jeez.
Oh
You
my.
know what? All right.
You can try to haggle.
I'm gonna lean over to Cirrus. Cirrus, I can cast animal friendship. We really don't need that one.
I know, but I can
Try to
also
pickpocket
cast
the
animal
merchant while he's
friendship.
distracted.
You can also cast it, but you just want the potion.
Yeah. I can
I mean-
cast it, but like potions are potions, man.
True.
All right. Well, that's too expensive. I know I have money, but I don't have that type of money.
Oh, I
Um,
understand. He puts the
how-
potion of animal friendship back.
Yeah. It looks great, but a little too expensive for my taste. How much for the potion of healing?
Oh, just, yeah, regular. You know, usually it's about 50 gold pieces, but you folks seem pretty nice, so I'll give it to you for 35. 35 gold pieces.
Oh, discount. Wow. I feel like I don't know. Is that still
I do like
expensive?
discounts.
I do like discounts, but who all has healing spells in our party?
Ivan.
I have a couple, but we could definitely use more
Potions.
potions
Yeah,
in that we can use in a pinch.
yeah, true.
Why were you
Okay,
pitching potions?
I'll take the potion.
Excellent. Great choice. He takes the little potion of healing, kind of wraps it up in a nice little like red cloth, puts it in a fancy little gift box for you, and hands it off.
Thank you.
Just
Hmm.
I hand him his gold. And I hand him a silver piece as well, because he's kind. Might as well.
Oh, that's too kind. He puts it in his little like money bag that he has in the back of the cart.
I had
Anything else for anybody?
131 silver pieces. I needed to get rid of that one.
I'm gonna point at the potion of gaseous form. What does that do there?
Oh, that's a great question. This is a really fun party trick. Impress all your friends, but it allows you to become a small cloud of gas. You can pass through it very tight spaces and scare your friends. It's a great potion.
And what's the duration on? Like, how long does that last?
Oh, let me look it up in my dictionary.
It usually takes
about that for a moment.
days for an hour.
Because if it's the spell that I'm thinking of, I
Yeah,
might
it's
actually.
an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I will take that one and the
I can
potion of
just
animal
cast it
friendship
on
for a
you.
trade, and I pull out one of the basilisk fangs I got from the tunnel.
Ooh. His eyes kind of like light up, like you haven't seen them yet. Like now it seems like he's actually seeing things. Oh, sorry. What is that there that you have?
This is a pristine basilisk fang that I collected myself. You can use this in many, many different potions. And I'm sure a knowledgeable person such as yourself would love to have this.
He reaches out his little like gnarled fingers and like hovers over it. I could make some pretty good material with that. You are correct. Sorry, which potions were you wanting to trade it for?
The gassy form potion and that potion of animal friendship my friend was looking at earlier.
I can also give you a little performance if you want.
Well, what kind of performance are we talking about?
I pull out my rock and Arceus and I make them dance.
Amazing.
Sorry joins in on the
Um,
dance.
Roll me a performance check.
Oh shit. Okay.
Guidance! Somebody guidance!
Guidance.
Guidance
Yep,
me.
guidance.
Yeah, thank you. Hey yo, guys. I got a 5.
With guidance?
Oh, no.
With guidance?
with guidance?
What's the guidance?
Rolling, yeah.
A D4.
Come on, 6.
I got a 7.
Ooh, nice.
That's very nice. He kind of like laughs, but he's not super entertained. Unfortunately, I trade in goods, not so much performances. But you know what? I'll take the basilisk fang and really, yeah, you've really got me stuck on this one. That is quite the specimen. Alright, I'll take the basilisk fang and 100 gold pieces, and you can have both potions.
Throw in a healing potion and you got a deal.
He thinks about it for a second. Alright. I'll throw in a healing potion as well.
I cast Produce Flame.
Okay.
Sure you
what
don't
was that?
want to bring that down just a little bit? Just a little bit. I
Roll
mean
me
100
intimidation.
gold.
Well, you
100
had a
gold.
superior. So other than the regular healing potions, there was another greater.
There's a
Yeah.
greater healing potion.
Yeah, I got the greater. 16.
16 for intimidation.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, my
Come on,
headset's
he's
acting up again.
He's a little old man. And I'm a 9-foot tall demon.
Yeah. He peers up at you as you produce this large ball of flame. What are you trying to get out of him?
Lower the
Just a
price.
little lower the price, you know?
Okay. I will throw in both the animal friendship, a gaseous form potion, a healing potion, and for 50 gold pieces in the Basilisk Fang.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
You have a deal?
Good
I'll-
trade.
I'll hand
Yeah.
over the gold and the fang.
Thank you. And if you could just take that fire, youngin, and just take a step back.
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
cart.
Don't worry, don't worry.
There are
Don't
many
worry.
flammable, explosive liquids here, and this is.
Here, since you've been so kind, I'll hand him 7 extra gold just because I don't like that I have 107. I don't. I need to make it even. Getting on my nerves.
He is so confused. He's like, thank you. Well, and he boxes up the other 3 potions, puts them into nice little gift boxes for you, and hands them to you, Argonis.
Fuck yeah.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, if you don't mind, I have only so many hours and many steps to go before reaching the capital.
How
Yeah,
many
of course.
potions you have total?
I don't have a lot of finished ones right now, so I have lots of the potions of healing. Those are pretty run-of-the-mill. I can crank those out pretty quickly, but that animal potion and the gaseous potion those are kind of my only stock at the moment.
Do you have a lot of healing potions?
I have quite a few.
How many?
2. That's
He
all,
sounds-
actually. Now that I think about it, I don't see any more in there. Right, Skippy? The dog just whimpers. Yeah, there's only a couple more in there. Must be on my way.
I start digging through my
Number, a name.
I guess probably backpack. I start pulling out teeth and talons.
Oh,
Ivan starts unloading his
fangs.
backpack on the ground. It's like when you go through a purse that you haven't gone through in a while.
I have all kinds of crap in it. You might see a onyx hit the ground and an amethyst.
That's true. Yeah, he's like slightly distracted by the fact that all of you are so intimidating. But he sees catches the sparkle in the corner of his good eye. Looks over like, whoa. That's quite the interesting jewels you have there, young man.
Yeah, these are my shiny rocks.
Young man.
They are shiny rocks. That is true. I mean, you wouldn't want those burdening you down for the rest of the walk. I mean, I could take those off your hands if you are interested.
How many healing potions do you have now?
While the
4!
4.
Wow.
while the merchant
he
is
smiles this really wide grin. He's missing half his teeth.
while the merchant is distracted, can I go through his cart and see if I find anything I like?
Yeah, you can roll me a stealth check. See if you can go through there.
I just want to ask this old man, how old are you?
That's a
I
rude
can
question.
Oh, no, from one old man to another. How old are you?
He squints up at you. You know, you're right. Your skin doesn't look too healthy. Yeah. Well,
Hey, yo, what the
us
fuck?
old men need to stick together. Or I'm a healthy 92. Thank you for asking.
Ah, you're so young.
Oh,
Wow.
quite the charmer.
Wow.
I see. I can't give you any more potions there, but
No.
appreciate the
I don't want
sentiment.
any more potions. Don't worry. Where I come from, you're very young.
Oh, that's very kind. I wish I felt that way still.
Yeah, the older you get, the more creaky your bones get, right?
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. Now my dog knows
Speaking
where
of
I am.
bones, so I was counting. I have 7. I think that's 7. Werewolf teeth. Huh?
Werewolf
Right.
teeth?
They're actually direwolf teeth.
He kind of like, he arches an eyebrow at you, creakily. You know, this is sounding a little unethical. Where did we get werewolf teeth, young man?
I killed a werewolf.
We're adventurers. Where do you think?
You see all these pelts? And I pull out like the direwolf pelts. I kill things.
Ivan has a very big backpack.
I do. I carry a lot of stuff.
You know,
Is
you
it like a bag of
probably-
holding
I-
or something?
Okay, you know what? I think this might be where I say my goodbyes to you, my new friends. Just as a friendly reminder, showing werewolf pelts and various things like it can get you into some trouble along here. That is,
But I killed it.
That's regulated material, so unless
Does
you've
it
got,
look like we
proper
care?
permits to sell those things, I'm gonna have to pass for today.
Oh, if only this old man knew. If
Also,
What's
only
that?
he
Did I
knew.
find out?
What's that?
Huh?
Also, did I?
Did you roll your stealth
You
check?
rolled stealth and you never told us.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just-
We waited for you.
Yes, I did, but stuff got out. I rolled a 19.
Oh, 19. Okay. Yeah, you can dig through the cart. I mean, you don't find like too much other interesting stuff. You do notice that he has a good like 10 healing potions in there. He's definitely not telling you the truth that he only has 2 or 4 healing potions. So he has a good like 10 tucked away in there. You obviously see the dog in there who doesn't quite catch you. He's still glaring at Lena. And kind of just various other pieces of like obviously this old man's like living stuff. So you don't find anything too exciting. It doesn't look like he keeps his money in the like cart. He seems to be holding the little pouch of money right now, so you're not able to access that, but kind of just general living stuff. And then you do notice that he has 10 healing potions, not just the 4 that he mentioned.
So can I like whisper in squeak speak for Cirrus to come help me unload his healing potions?
Oh,
Are we going to rob this man?
I'll send
I'm just-
Arceus.
Sorry, what's
I'll
that?
send Arceus over.
What's that you say?
That's what I meant. No, he didn't hear that. I was
Who's
asking
that?
that to the.
Yeah, it was squeaky. Squeaky speaky.
Does anybody hear? Is that my bones? Does anybody hear that squeaking sound?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I could probably give you a massage if you would like.
Probably. So Arceus is coming to help me unload these.
Yeah.
I would like.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
So, wait, are you offering
Oh,
him a
how many-
massage, or are you helping
I'm
to
offering
raise
him a
go?
massage while Arceus goes to help Vittori.
Okay, I see. Okay. Sorry, I was having trouble hearing Vittoria. Okay, so, the old man looks kind of suspiciously at you. A massage? Well,
Yeah.
why would you offer such a thing? That's an odd thing to offer a stranger on the road.
Don't worry about that. I get very close to him. I'm like, look at this. And I start pulling out talons from the vultures.
No, it's just, dude, why you gotta show all our goods off, man?
I'm trying to get.
Hey,
the-
don't overcompensate, Ivan.
I need potions.
35 gold. He could use money.
I don't have the money.
He's too expensive. Have you heard this man? He was trying to get me to spend 200 gold on one potion.
That was a lot. But
yeah. I'm just
And he
trying to
wasn't
help you out.
truthful
I
about the
know-
amount of potions he had.
I know how hard it is
Don't know that
to
yet.
travel as an old one, you know. Although you are young, but you think you're old and your bones are creaking a little bit, so, you know.
All right. Well, I'll take you up on your offer. Yeah, I could really use a little rub. He pulls off his like disgusting shoes, My feet have been killing me. Would you mind?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I pull out rock. Pull out my rock. You know,
Mash
Yep.
his feet with it.
rock. Can you give this old man a little massage? Just a little massage.
The rock trembles a little bit.
It's okay, bud. It's all right. I know. I know. It's okay.
You hear it chirp questioningly.
Just give him a little massage. He needs a massage. Don't you think?
It like makes
Poor-
this kind of little movement that's like a totally dejected rock sigh. Like, I guess. And
I
it
love my rock.
rolls down off your hand onto the ground, bounces down a couple times, and then rolls over to this old man's feet, begins kind of rolling around across his toes. The old man is like, what kind of massage is this? Some sort of
It's
newfangled method?
it's from my hometown that I like to call hell. It's a hot rock
Isn't
massage.
that right? Isn't that just, for those of us who grew up in just hellish times? Yeah.
Yeah. That's
true.
definitely definitely what I meant. Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Old man, I'd like to ask you, how are your eyes?
oh, my eyes are terrible. I mean,
Ah,
if I could create a potion that would help my eyesight, it would solve a lot of my problems. But I
that'd
haven't
be so
haven't
nice,
quite been
wouldn't it?
able to do that yet. See, I'm really good at following a recipe for potions, but I'm not much of an innovator.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I know. I know how it is. Um, I would say my eyesight isn't the best, but like that'd just be a lie, and I don't want to lie to you, old man.
I
It'd be
appreciate
just
that.
mean.
Honesty is hard to come by on the road. You
Yeah.
always meet people you think are really friendly, but you turn your back and they rob you blind. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never. That'd be so
Yeah,
rude.
we would never do that.
We would never. That'd be
Wait,
so
we just heard a
mean.
voice from the back.
Yeah. What was that?
No, that was just my rock. Don't worry.
Your rock talks? That's very interesting.
Sometimes, occasionally, if he wants to. Usually, he just makes little squeaks and stuff.
Where did you come
Squeak,
across
squeak.
such a creature?
Ah.
Never seen this.
I literally cannot remember where I came across this rock, but I found him somewhere, and I love him to death.
I actually think it was. Did Argonis pick the rock up?
Yeah,
I don't
Argonis picked
remember.
up the rock. Argonis picked up the rock, but then I found something more valuable
Mm-hmm.
in hindsight to the rock, and I gave Argonis the whatever I found in exchange for the rock. So now I have a really cool rock, and Argonis I think only got like 5 gold out of that.
I think so. I think you're right.
So
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty good trade for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, I found the rock. You found like 7 gold, and we traded, and it turned out to be a really cool rock.
Yeah.
Like I think what it was like Argonis, you were either like given a rock or like you found the rock from like searching someone's body, or it was something like that. I'm trying to remember the exact
He
situation.
failed.
Yeah.
And you were
he
like, that's
failed
lame.
he failed an investigation check.
Yeah.
It was like right before we
Didn't
hit the
we-
capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
It
like,
was
I was going to
amazing.
say that. Didn't we find a rock right before someone, I'm not going to name names, threw the rock into a whole inventory, had to rescue the rock?
Yes. Yeah, it was shortly before.
Yeah. Man. I really panicked with that one, guys. That was scary.
That's still one of my favorite scenes. As you throw the
That
rock
was
into this
that
bottomless
was
pit.
terrifying.
It was so good. Anyways, okay, so Vittori, and if you could roll for Arceus, Cirrus, if you folks could roll me one more stealth check.
Gotcha.
See how many of these potions you've been able to get out of there.
I only got a 9.
Okay.
I have really bad luck with rolling, eh?
Yeah, today's been a low roll day. Victoria,
Yeah.
what'd you get?
21, 14 plus 7.
Sweet.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm gonna say there were like 10 healing potions back there. So between a mouse and a rat, Arceus didn't roll super high. But Vittoria, you rolled pretty high. So I'll say you probably got at least 5 of them out of there. You weren't able to get all 10, but you've gotten like 5 of them out.
Alright.
I can live with that. He was lying about having 2, so my original intention was to steal 8, and then he said 4, so then my intention was to steal 6, but I can live with 5.
Okay.
Yeah, five's good. Five's good.
Awesome. Your rock, does your rock have a name, Sears? I can't remember if you named it.
I think I just called him Rocky.
All right. Rocky kind of
Which is a
finishes
great
up.
name for a rock.
It's true. It is a very accurate name for Rock.
Yeah.
Rocky finishes up the massage and kind of rolls back over to Cirrus with like really tired sounding chirps.
I put him on my shoulder.
The old man had a lot of knots.
Just give him a little pet.
Um,
Little pet on the head. Is there anything else I can do for you, old man?
oh no, you've done plenty. You bought some of my wares. You massaged my feet. I mean, what more could I ask of my new friends here? If you're ever in the capital, I have a small shop down near the main square. You're always welcome to come in and check it out. It's a beautiful little spot. I just managed to afford it. I'm going there to set up and yeah, just come by anytime.
How long has it been? How long has it been?
I'm gonna give him. You know what? Man, you have treated us so good today. So I'm gonna give you some.
Isn't that like
I'm
right
gonna
off
give you
the
30
next to the
silver
bank?
pieces. I'm gonna give you 30 silver pieces because you just treated us so well, you know, and I really appreciate how kind you've been. You know.
I don't know if I could take any more.
No,
you're pretty kind,
we
so much.
insist.
I insist, really.
Well, that's so, I'll be able to afford a really nice sign for the shop with this. I'll get it done up.
That's good.
It's
That's
gonna
good.
be so nice. Yeah, I really do have to,
Yeah.
spruce it up a bit. It was old, so it'll look really nice on the wooden exterior, I think. So appreciate all of that you've done for me. But stop by anytime.
Of course. Yeah, we'll make sure to stop by. If we get the time. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you all as well. Have a good trip. Stay safe on the roads. Stay young.
You too.
And he creaks off down the road. This old donkey, the dog stares at you all from the side of the cart as you go. And off he goes down the road. Oh, dear.
I feel horrible now. Oh no.
No. Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking.
Yep.
Victoria and
We're
Arceus just
walking.
carrying a bunch of these potions.
He shouldn't have lied.
Arceus.
He shouldn't have lied. I just wanted to see if he was lying. My plan wasn't to steal his stuff, but then he was lying. So I was like, okay,
There's-
you deserve it.
Yeah,
Like
well,
glass
you
houses, stones.
stole from him. Yeah,
Yeah, but
we
he
definitely
lied, so I was. just
we
teaching him
definitely
something.
stole from an old man whose shop just got destroyed.
I didn't
Um,
steal anything.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
either.
Lane, no, you really didn't do anything there, did you?
I looked at the dog like a normal
Yeah.
person.
You intimidated the dog. Yeah, true.
I was trying to give him these teeth.
I gave him a massage. Well, Rocky gave him a massage.
Should we keep walking south?
Oh, they were valuable
Yeah.
life
Yeah, we've
lessons.
been
I'm
walking.
not
We've been
lying
walking.
to people.
Okay.
Sirius, do you want this potion?
Yeah, do you want to distribute your potions anywhere particular? So you should have the 5 Victoria and Arceus just received. Received as a kind word for it.
Yeah, I'll take the
Um,
animal friendship. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Argonis, you traded for your 3 potions there, and Sears, you bought a potion? Question mark. Yes.
Yeah, I bought a potion of
Yeah.
healing.
And then I also have the potion of gaseous form if anybody wants it, or I can hold on to it.
I'd say hold on to it. It can come in useful. Like it could come in handy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah,
I
if you just
mean-
want to make sure, whoever's got kind of healing potions, just keep track of kind of who has them on their person in case of, accidental decapitation.
Yeah.
Just so we know,
Yeah.
whose
Decapitation.
bodies have potions there. That would be helpful, but other than that, excellent. So, old man heads off back down the road towards the capital, making his slow way to his shop that he's been trying to afford for 92 years.
I was gonna flirt with him more, but then I just started feeling really sad, so I wasn't in the mood anymore. So Sirius has been in a very flirty mood recently.
Right? Yeah.
He's going through it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
totally.
what.
Yeah, I feel like it was in the Hell arc too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you folks continue on south down the road. Again, like you see like a few people pass by. You don't see too many more merchants going this way. Perhaps word has spread that the city is a little bit in chaos right now, and not as many folks are making their way towards the capital at the moment. But you see quite a few kind of just sort of residential folks who look like they're either headed home or they're off on a trip of some kind and probably going through the capital first. So not a lot more merchants come across your path, but you slowly make your way towards Loch. As you approach, I'll give a quick description of what Loch looks like. You come across, it's sort of a large town. It's not yet a city, but it's definitely not a small village. So it's quite a large town. It's right along the coast. It's not walled or anything. So it's sort of just as you make your way into it, it gets like denser in population as you make your way through. So as you come across, you see on the outside, there's just small sort of dwellings. Many of them lie right along the coast, right on the beach. And you can definitely tell that this is like a fishing town. Everywhere you go, everyone has some sort of like small boat or something close to their dwelling, either just like dry docked up on the shore, or some of them have little piers that stretch out onto the ocean where they have various small vessels tied to it. As you make your way into the town, there's a few things that you can kind of see. As you come in on the left, there are many signs that point towards the High Street Market. To the right, you see signs pointing to the dock ward. So definitely a large town. You do also see that there is a tower that's sort of a little bit farther inland. It's not right on the coast, but it's kind of up on a small hill that overlooks the town. So this is probably where... Kirby almost knocked over my entire box of dice.
Kirby,
Entertaining and terrible.
behave.
Loud.
Kirby just wanted to roll dice too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would have been all of them rolled at the exact same time. So you see the tower that's sort of up on the hill. This is probably where either the lord or lady of this town sort of resides as well. And stretched out before you is this nice little town along the coast. But yeah, definitely a huge fishing village. You see pretty much everywhere you look is something to do with fishing. So this is probably a big fishing port for Ptolemaean. And yeah, where would you like to try first? To the right, like I said, is sort of the docks that are right along the coast. So there's a dock ward to the right. To left, a little bit inland, there are signs pointing to a market. And of course, there's the tower further into town.
Sirius would like to know if there are any bakeries or bread shops.
You don't see any, like, as you're coming in, this is sort of the, like I said, the residential side, but you would assume that the market would probably have something like this.
I'm gonna head to the market and search for a bread shop.
Okay.
I want to head to the market as well and see if there's like a potion shop or stand. Not because I'm going to try to sell my potions again, because that would be lame. No, I want to see if there's a merchant that sells really small bottles so I can make the mouse-sized potion healing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking for a potion shop to try to find small bottles.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick up
That,
Vittori and
that's
put
the
him on my
short
head.
version of my story. Yes.
Vittori, you're coming with me. You're going on my head. Just set
I
him
don't want to
down.
come on your head.
I didn't say my hat. I said my head. I don't have a hat. You silly goose. I have horns.
I said head.
Okay, well, you're sitting on my head now, so.
Okay, what about everyone else?
I'm grumpy
What's
now.
everyone's thoughts?
I will just follow.
Wanted to fish, but I guess if we're finding a bread shop, I'll buy a croissant.
Bread shop, bread shop, bread shop.
I'm gonna walk next to Ivan, kind of whisper. I think this would be a good place to get rid of the you know what's in your bag.
Oh. I pull the teeth back out.
No, not the other things. The rocks.
Well, the fangs. Huh? Oh, you mean my shiny rocks?
Yeah,
They're really shiny.
we don't want to. We don't want to be carrying those. Because sooner or later they're gonna realize those are missing and come after us.
The shiny rocks came from the bank, right?
Yeah.
Which was decimated by
Yeah,
a
okay.
tornado. So you think they're going to be missing 3 rocks?
You never know.
No, but you never know. They
You
might
should
have
just
been
eat them.
just
Yeah.
just eat the
Aw.
rocks.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion.
Just some
It's a
food for
suggestion
rocks.
indeed.
I'll continue walking.
Food for thought.
Fuck.
Food for rocks.
Food for rocks.
Rock.
Okay, so we're headed to the market. Some of us are looking for bakery or just kind of following along, and then we're looking for as well another potion shop potentially. Does Kirby have?
Yeah.
No, he's good.
Yes.
Place to sell our wares
Okay, fantastic.
and possibly buy wares.
Okay. All right, so you make your way through the town a little bit here. It's like quite a cute little town. It's pretty well maintained. A lot of the towns that you've gone through so far, like the city was obviously the city. The outside was like kind of more shacks and that kind of thing, and the inside was pretty wealthy. But kind of other towns you've been are have been very like foresty, woodsy villages. This is sort of the first kind of dwelling that you've seen that is all very like stonework. It's quite quaint in a way as well. Like it's very like medieval stonework town, but it's well taken care of. Like the folks that are here seem to be like decently well off. Like none of them are super wealthy, but like they have a nice town that they obviously take care of and have like a lot of like respect for their properties and things like that. So it's like quite cute, light stone as you're kind of going down these cobblestone roads. Everyone seems to be fairly like cheerful and in like decent moods. You don't hear a ton about the city and anything that's gone on with the capital as you're kind of going through these conversations. And there doesn't appear to be a lot of sort of guards or soldiers around in the town. Seems to be very based, of course, like with the fishing and kind of sailor based. I'm trying to figure out the word for jobs, but jobs, occupations. That's the word I'm looking for.
Professions.
So as you go through, yeah, their professions tend to be a lot of like ocean faring professions, and they're right on the coast, so it's just kind of that is part of their lifestyle. Very coastal, cute, quaint town as you wander through. So as you head through sort of the more residential area, you make your way towards the market. You come into this beautiful, well-maintained square. And you find quite a few different stores. So there's lots in this market. It is a very like well-equipped town. So there's definitely there is going to be like another apothecary / potion store. So there is an apothecary in the market square that you can see. It's cute, quaint. Again, like everything just kind of looks like not like touristy quaint. It's just quaint. So there's a small little alchemy store. There's a couple different sort of general shops that you can see that probably sell, you know, various adventurers' goods and that kind of thing. You see there might be a couple places here that might look like Arcana type stops, or so some sort of magic shops. And then you do see as well a couple smaller armories. They don't look huge. It's probably not a big, thriving business out here for this kind of town, but there are a couple places where it looks like there's a blacksmith that probably does more catered service. They probably don't have a lot in stock, but it looks like they do have options. So yeah, there's kind of a little bit of everything. So there's some fashion and apparel stores, there's magic shops, that kind of stuff. So there's pretty much everything that you could look for is probably here in the town.
But I
Do you
just
want...
realized my question.
Sorry?
My question is, I just realized my question.
Okay. What is
How
it?
the heck are Arceus, and I carrying the potions?
That's
that
what
we
I
just
said. Like
stole?
you would have had to distribute it to people. Like Arceus probably would have brought
Oh,
the
okay,
potions to
okay.
Cirrus, and I don't know who you would have given the potions to, but that's kind of what I was. That's kind of what I was
I think I just
alluding to.
I just put them in Ivan's pocket, basically. I think.
Okay.
Okay. How many did you put in my pocket?
We stole 5, and how many of those did Arceus have, and how many did I have?
I don't know. Did you not see what was in your hand?
I'm asking this to our lovely DM.
What are you asking me?
How many How many of the 5 potions did I basically carry, and how many did Arceus carry?
Yeah, Arceus rolled not great, so I'll say Arceus had 2 and you had 3.
Okay. There's your answer, Ivan. You have 3
All right.
potions in your pocket.
And they're just normal healing. So in between lesser and greater.
I think so. Yes.
I think the ones that you folks stole would have been just regular, so just potions of healing. I think Cirrus might have kind of swindled the way into the greater healing potion.
Yeah. greater healing.
So Cirrus still has a greater healing potion, but the ones that were kind of in a little bit more abundance would have been the regular healing potions. We good?
Yep. Potion of healing.
I think so.
Yes. I'm
Good, okay. I'm like, did we figure that out? Are we okay? Does everybody have the potions that they need? Excellent. Okay. But yeah, totally. Because I was like, Arceus and Zuri wouldn't have been carrying them, which is why I was like, where are they going to be? So, good call. Sorry I wasn't clear on that when I mentioned that earlier, Yaren. Apologies for that. Okay. So, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
This is a pretty bustling market space. Like I said, everyone is very cheerful. It's like a pretty friendly area. There's lots of different stores. So this is definitely the time that if you're looking to find some cool shops, this is probably where you're going to want to be. Cirrus, if you're looking for the bakery, you don't see one in this main square, but roll me a perception check or maybe investigation. If you're very specifically looking, try the investigation check for me.
Okay. Yeah. Why do I always get the bad rolls? I only got an 8.
Okay. I'll say with an 8, you can definitely smell a bakery. Like, it smells like fresh bread. You know that there must be a bakery around here somewhere, but you can't see it in maybe this main square yet. It's quite busy, so it could be just that, like, things are very distracting right now and you can't quite see the bakery behind everybody, but you do smell, like, the scent of bread. So you know there's a bakery somewhere nearby.
And just sniff it out, lads.
Yeah. Do we want to try stopping another store first, everybody?
Can I actually break off from the group and go into one of the Arcana stores?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And I would probably head
Can I
towards
go
a
to the
blacksmith.
potion store?
Yeah, let's start with Argonis, and then we'll sort of make our way around here. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll go with Argonis, reaching out for the Arcana store. So you're looking around, trying to find kind of a magic shop of some kind. And yeah, you head off. You see that there is a small little Arcana shop. You see that in the front is a human. She stands in the front. She looks very pleasant. She seems pretty happy, and she's sort of straightening products and things like that in the window of this little magic shop. It's called Jorah's Magic Emporium, and she's kind of gives you a friendly smile as she sees you sort of approaching the window.
I'm gonna step in and pull my hood down because I probably had my hood up the entire time, just because I'm socially awkward like that. Hi, I was wondering if you would be able to identify something for me. And I pull out one of the shards from the crystal from the
Ooh.
tornado.
Yeah. She goes, hi, yes,
And
welcome.
also, my
welcome.
headset's acting up again, so I apologize.
No problem. Welcome to the shop. I'm happy to do a bit of an appraisal for you, for sure. It might take me a moment. Let me get my tools and feel free to browse around. Do you mind if I just take that with me to the desk?
Sure.
Excellent.
And I'll just place it on the desk and take a look around.
Yeah, she pulls out like a little cloth so she can kind of pick up the crystal. Like she's very careful with it. You can tell like she's a professional. She minds her things. Her store's like very tidy. And she kind of pulls out a few like magnifying glasses and a couple various other tools that she has kind of at the desk to begin examining this crystal. It might take her kind of a moment to get sort of her bearings with this particular piece. So as you kind of look around, she has a few wares as well that you can take a look at. So in the particular Arcana shop, she does have just kind of lots of components and things like that for spells. So it's quite well stocked for any spell components you might need. Oh, there's a fire truck, Kirby. What was that?
Oh no!
It was big and red and so scary. He's freaking out. It's just a fire truck, but
It
it's
was
fine.
big and red and so scary.
Oh, he's so
Mo-
spooked.
most things are big for Kirby
You're
because he's just
okay.
a tiny little
Come here,
bird.
buddy.
Aww.
Oh.
Poor Kirby.
It's okay.
Poor little guy.
Oh gosh, you're gonna be.
Tell us all about it, Kirby.
It's okay. The house is not on fire. We are okay. Wasn't coming here. Oh, he's so spooked. His little cheeks are so puffy. I'm gonna feed
Tell
him
him
a
to
cashew.
back off, Kirby.
Come on, buddy. We'll give you a snack. Here you go. That, chocolate. It's like chocolate, but, don't feed chocolate to birds, obviously. But,
Yeah.
when you're scared and, like, a good chocolate is, like, that's perfect. That's exactly what this was. Little cashew. Little cashew to keep him feeling okay.
Cashew.
How fast we forget about the giant fire truck. Anyways, back to the Arcana shop. So yeah, lots of components and things like that. Very well stocked for anything you might need for spell work. A few other kind of interesting pieces that you can see as well. There's a couple spell scrolls. There's lots of like druidic focus things as well, if any of those things that you need. And then a couple kind of interesting things here. So you do see that there is, let's see, what are these things? Ooh, you do have a couple pieces there that you see that are quite interesting. One that is on display in the front window. It doesn't look super exciting, but it has a nice little like gold plate label on it, and you see it is a bag of holding, which is pretty exciting. So it's kind of in this nice glass case at the front of the store in the window. And you also see on a mannequin, there is a cloak of protection. Both of these things seem to be sort of more high end, a little bit more protected from being maybe picked up too often, but those are kind of a couple high value items that seem to be on display here. And other than that, there are, like I said, just lots of different components and things like that. Oh, I see. I think Argonis might need a second. It was completely broken, so if we move on to someone else while I fix things, that's fine. Okay. So those are things we see in the Arcana shop. We'll move on to sort of our next person here. So while Argonis is in the Jorah's Magic Emporium, we can kind of move on to our next folks. I might actually let Lena, if Lena, you want to look at anything in the marketplace. I just feel like maybe you haven't had too much of a turn to explore. So is there anything that you would like to take a look at in the marketplace?
to go to the blacksmith, so if Ivan wanted to come with me.
Yes.
Hi, I'm so sorry, guys.
No worries. We're gonna, well, yeah,
You're
we'll
fine,
come
you're
back.
fine.
We'll come back to you. We'll give you a little bit longer there. Cool. Okay.
I heard like different things about, so I heard bag of holding and then something else.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
perfect.
yeah,
Cloak of protection.
Yeah, you can think about
Okay.
it for a little bit, but there was a bag of holding and a cloak of protection were sort of the two higher item things, or higher value items that were there, and then everything else is sort of like spell components, pretty much anything that you would need for spell stuff. Okay, so for the blacksmith, you see that they're, of course, like I said, it's not so much a well-stocked blacksmith where they're just selling a bunch of weapons, but they do seem to be kind of tailored to just what folks need. So in this particular town, of course, everyone's kind of on the ocean, so they make a lot of sort of making repairs on vessels or that kind of thing as well. So it's very tailored. They don't seem to have a lot of like in-stock stuff, but they seem to be very skilled from what you can see. So not so many things in stock, but you do see that they are working away. In one of the stores, you see a very tall man. He's kind of hammering away at something as he's working in the blacksmith itself. And yeah, let's check out what's in this store. Okay, so for the blacksmith, there's quite a bit of like ammunition stuff, kind of the regular things. So there are things like that here. As I said, there's not a ton of things in stock, but they do seem to offer specific services if you were wanting to craft something interesting. So you do see that they have like a little thing on the wall that offers the ability to silver your weapon. And they do also offer kind of a connection to actually the Arcana shop. So if you wanted to create a weapon that actually had more magical abilities, they do partner with the Arcana shop as well to build those types of things. So they do have those offerings, but they don't keep them in stock.
I would love both of those, but I am so broke that I probably cannot afford them, and I'm sad.
Yeah, so for
Well,
example...
let's walk in anyways.
Yeah, you see the gentleman that's sort of hammering away seems to be making some sort of part for a vessel, probably just like a hinge or something for ropes and things like that. But he looks up as you enter in. Welcome in. Take a look around. If you have any questions, just let me know. We don't have a ton of stock in right now. There's lots of, little pieces that you may need for your travels. But let me know if you need anything crafted. I'm here to help. Always looking forward to meeting new people and helping them on their journey. Name's Thurl, if you need me.
Thank you. I don't know how to talk to another person.
Her name is what?
Thurl. It's like Earl, but with a TH on the front.
Like Earl?
Yeah, you know what? Just call me Earl. That's fair enough. That's what my niece calls me
Alright.
too. She can't really say the TH yet, so Earl is completely fair.
So I start looking around. You craft anything that we might need or desire?
Pretty much. I've got quite a bit of material if you need anything interesting. Basically, you tell me what you're up to and I can give you an estimate or let you know what I can do, but I do a lot of silver things here. If you are particularly inclined to adventuring and may run into anything that might require a silvered weapon. Also, like the sign notes, he gestures at the little sign. We also partner with Jorah over at the Magic Emporium. If you need anything particularly infused with magic, we do that occasionally. It has a bit of a price, it's a little bit of work, but we definitely enjoy doing it. So if that's something you need, we're here. Other than that, we make great fishing poles. 2 for 1.
Fishing poles, yes. I lean down like, I try to like whisper to her, but I'm probably not whispering very well. What are you wanting?
Elbow him in the side. I
do you
want to
need?
know. Shut up.
Oh, sorry.
Earl, I want to know the things that you do with the Joja or whatever it was that you called it. The enchanting, the magic. I need to know.
He like laughs really hard. You mean Jorah?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Joja market.
Yeah,
Mark.
with Jorah's store. Yeah, Jorah, she's a mage over at her shop, but she definitely helps us with our weaponry. So if we are making anything specific, so for you, you look like a dagger, a dagger wielder. Am I right? I'm pretty good at reading people.
I guess, and I like take out my dagger and kind of aim it at Ivan so he'll back away from me.
Careful.
See, I knew it. You got eyes like daggers, and I felt like you also wielded them. So, yeah, let me kind of show you a few things. He pulls out sort of this book from behind him, and it just kind of has drawings of various weapons that he has created in the past. Shows you a couple images of some daggers. You see some that look like quite ornate. They're like prettified, have little symbols, and some of them have, they look like they've got plant stuff like drawn into them and fancy handles and all this kind of stuff. And then he's got more of like a stealthy type of side as well, where it's more like plain daggers. So all of these I can create no problem, and then we can infuse whatever magic you might need in them if you're looking for something like that. I know the world has become a lot more dangerous, so completely understandable if you're needing something a little bit more hefty.
Yeah, I look at the ones that are more like stealthy and are like, how much is it like in general if I wanted to put like basic like attunement or whatever into it.
Yeah, sure thing. So basically what you're looking at, if you're trying to do something like a silvered weapon, so that's kind of a basic option. You're probably looking at about 100 gold pieces for that kind of customized equipment. If it's something magical, where, for example, maybe we take something you already have, if there's a particular dagger you'd like to infuse, we can work with that as well. And it might be a little bit less if it's your own equipment we're adding that to. So depending on what kind of project, if it's just a dagger, you're probably looking 30 gold pieces for us to give it a little bit of magic. Anything where we're building it from scratch up, if you're looking for a sword, something like that, you're probably getting up there into the 150, 200 gold piece range, because that's a little bit more work for us. But if it's your own, we can negotiate, but it's probably going to be around that 25 to 50 gold pieces.
Okay, so I would use my own.
Excellent.
What are
Yeah,
the
we're happy to do
options?
that.
So, when you enchant or infuse the magic, what kind of magic is it? What does it like? Could you make it like frost or fire or frost? Or fire?
It's a good question. That might take me a little bit of research. I haven't done too much work with kind of elemental infusion before, but I'd be happy to test it out for you if that's something you're interested in. It would probably take me some time. Like, I'd have to have you come back after I make sure that I know a little bit more information. But
Lena, you should try see if you could get like venom or poison.
yeah,
Crying.
poison's it's a little bit different, but we can do that. Most things that we do, they add usually an added benefit to, how much damage you can do with them, which is nice. Occasionally it can give you just a bit of an increase to the accuracy of the weapon as well, so it kind of depends on what you're looking for there. And then we can do kind of some fun things, so you kind of look slyly. For example, most recently I had someone who gave it one of their daggers a bit of a spice up, where it could actually act as a key and improves chances of unlocking, doors when you've lost your keys. Nervous chuckle. But it was really interesting.
Considering how many locks that we've tried to pick. Lena like mutters under her breath. Doesn't want him to know. Just thinking about it.
I start thinking. Okay. So she wants her dagger to be awesome, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Awesome dagger. How are you with building from creature stuff?
Depends on how it is. If it's a fairly hard material, that's a little easier for working with it without it breaking. And really depends on what you want it to be. So if you want it to be the blade of a certain weapon, depending again on the material, it can be really easy or it can be difficult if I need to harden it in some way. But if you just want it worked into the hilt or something like that, that can actually be a really decent way to bring some, not necessarily elemental magic, but that kind of property into the weapon. So I'm happy to try, but with the obvious contingency that if it's pretty fragile stuff, that's hard to work with. So I'll do my best, but no guarantees that that would work if it's fragile. Do you have a particular thing in mind?
I have a bronze dragon tooth.
Wow. Yeah, that would. I mean, I don't know how you got that.
They didn't need it anymore.
Fair.
They were
Bronze
dead, and then
dragons
they
are-
came.
Oh.
Yeah, they came back. I just
Oh?
didn't give them back to Tooth.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
This seems like a really interesting story. But,
Yeah, it was great. We went all out and killed it, and then it kind of we found out it was the young one, and the mother showed up. It wasn't good.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting. But that would actually be really interesting. I've never worked with dragon teeth like that before, but bronze dragons have, lightning qualities, so it might be kind of interesting to see what would happen if we combined it with a weapon.
Yeah, I love battle axes. It doesn't have to be the battle axe. We could turn it into a club or like a pitchfork.
Completely up to you. I think in that case, if you're wanting more of a big weapon, the tooth itself would probably have to just be embedded somehow in the handle of the weapon. I don't know if we could put it so much in the blade or the head. You'd want to keep it protected, but you would still be able to probably imbue some of its magical properties into the weapon. I'd be happy to try.
I would love that. And by chance, do you think that my body makes me look fat?
You look great.
Really?
Yeah.
Lena sighs in the background.
I mean, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask where you work out. I know there's a couple gyms in the area, but like, is this just from adventuring? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just go out there and kill shit. I got like snake fangs and vulture talons. I have a vulture head back. I don't know where I put it. I had it a while ago.
Rotting vulture head in your backpack
Somewhere.
Wow, I've been telling my wife I've got to get out there and do some more adventuring, but someone's got to hold down the fort here. Well, she's out. She has a vessel of her own, so she's kind of out on the water quite often. So, kind of need to keep a base here. But adventuring seems like
I understand. Man at home, you gotta keep the castle up. I understand.
Yeah. It's a nice town, but you just never know. If you disappear for too long, someone might just take your house,
Exactly.
So, we gotta hold down the fort, but I'm hoping we'll, raise some money. The blacksmith's been going fairly well. There's been a bit more demand for this kind of equipment lately, so we're putting some funds away. I think it might be time for kind of an adventure late honeymoon, we're pretty excited, but, yeah, that's awesome. Love that you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I want to take better care, so I was thinking maybe upgrade my whole armor a little bit. I was like looking maybe if you could possibly work on maybe some plate, and I started pulling out like other fangs, snake fangs. You could put this in it and stuff. I don't know if it would look cool or anything, but
I
just thought it'd be pretty.
Try.
Yeah, no, it would be great, and money's no object.
Excellent. What kind of, just ballparking here? I may not have all the material, but there is places in town where we can find material if we need it. What would be the ideal material you'd want to make your armor out of or your plate out of?
Ooh, you have to make me look that up. I don't know. Plate material? Because I don't think
Great
like
material to make blade out of.
right. Make it out of plate.
Yeah, because I can't remember what you have right now.
I'm currently in chain.
In chain, like chainmail. Okay.
Yeah, chainmail.
Trying to think of like what an actual upgrade would be. Like,
Yeah, no, a plate
If it would
armor
be-
is it's going to be a lot.
let's see. Yeah, let me look this up.
Like even steel plate might be an upgrade
Yeah.
from chain.
Oh yeah, because if you have
They
chainmail,
make the plate armor out of puff pastry. Make it out of cookie dough.
Chainmail, half plate. Yeah, because it would be that'd be pretty hefty, but
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, if you're up for it, like he's got the skill. He could do it. He could make it for you, but it would probably be pretty pricey. Like just looking up with like roll 20 kind of stuff, price
yeah.
that they would list it at would be about 1,500
Yep.
gold. So, yeah.
Ivan once.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, he's down. He kind of like looks around. You can kind of tell he's doing a bit of like calculation in his head a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good project. I haven't done plate in a while, but I'm happy to give it a shot. So, it would be a bit pricey, especially for someone of your height and excellent stature, but it would be a bit of money there.
Now, would you take in trades? And I start pulling out different gems and all the other teeth and shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, are you wanting to trade the gems for the work? Or would you want some of these gems actually put into the weapons?
Ooh. I didn't think of that.
Thanks for the hydrate.
Thank you for hydrate. Thank you for hydrate. Well, I think one of these is going to probably pay for all of it, possibly, and then some.
Yeah. I mean, that's
So I don't-
true.
So I don't. Should I try to go trade this to get money for you, or do you have a lot of cash on hand for the good trade, or you
How
want
about-
buy everybody armor? Let's go.
Okay, let's try to calculate a little bit here. So, okay, we're gonna do some plate armor and a weapon in which I need to use a dragon tooth in some way. The plate armor as well. We're gonna try to incorporate some of the various fangs and things that you have.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then were we also doing the dagger? Is this included, or are these purchased separately?
Yeah. Oh no, that dagger. You know what? That dagger's on me.
Wow, thanks.
I threw you
Like, that's
a few
sarcastically.
times.
All right. Okay, you know what? I like this. I think it's giving me an opportunity to do some experimenting. So how about we'll do a deposit of 1,000 gold pieces for all of it. I'm gonna say probably on completion of said equipment, it might be another 750. The dagger I'll throw in, but the plate and the heavy weapon, that's a little bit more if I'm creating it and imbuing these things. So I'm gonna say 1,000 down, 750 when I get this completed, and I'll throw in the dagger. And if it's absolutely gonna take me more, I'll let you know, and you can decide if you want extra pieces or if you feel like tipping, throw it my way. Goes to my adventure fund. But I'm gonna say 1750 for all of that.
Now, do you know of a place around here that I can sell stuff at a decent price so I can come back and give you some money?
He thinks about it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. If you're looking for people that probably have a good eye for the quality of what you're selling, you're probably I mean, if it's anything magical, go to Jorah. She'll buy magical things, and she's decent. She's an honest folk. I guess I'll just tell you probably who to avoid. So don't go to Thriggy. He's across the square from me. He's general store. Just not a great individual.
Pretty bad. Gotcha.
Yeah, he, makes great pancakes, but just is in general, he's gonna cheap it out. He won't pay you the full price for it. So Jorah, if it's magical, I can take these things at price of what I think it's gonna be, but if you're wanting to get a decent switch, maybe try Dinda. She actually is like a wine seller, but she tends to have an eye for the finer things, so she may be able to price it out right for you. Do a fair.
Okay. So I will leave most of my stuff here. And I start just pulling random shit out. So there's just now dire teeth, dire wolf teeth, some talons from the vultures. There's 2 snake fangs, non-poisonous, and,
Okay,
and
yeah.
the dragon tooth.
Yeah, let me write this down of everything that's being put into this thing so I can create something interesting.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we give it some cool properties. So okay, we've got direwolf teeth.
Yep.
We've got
And pelt.
and
So
pelt.
dire wolf pelt and teeth.
And pelt. We have snake fangs from the giant snake.
Guessing
right?
it probably wasn't the sister, the big one.
Oh, the.
I'm not sure.
Wait, the snake? Snake was the big one. You guys fought the big snake.
Oop,
Can you hear
my
me?
internet went out.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we're-
Ivan! We're dropping one. Oh no! No, Ivan!
Lena looks around frantically, where to
Ivan,
go?
Ivan just poofs out of existence.
Oh, he's back.
Ivan, you're back. Phew.
Sorry, my internet went out for a second.
No, it's totally fine. It was hello? Okay, so the snake fangs are probably from the giant snake, Ivan, because you did fight that giant snake.
Correct. So
The
2
vulture
fangs for the
pieces.
giant. So there's 8 vulture talons I had.
Yeah, and I think those were from Big Sis.
Okay, so those will be the bigger ones then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you
Because
fought
we
the
didn't
little
kill
ones.
any.
Go ahead, Argonis.
Oh no, I was just saying we didn't kill any of the small ones. It was just the.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just her. Okay,
That's
okay.
what I thought. Yeah. 8 giant vulture talons. Cool. What
Alright,
else?
so that was direwolf pelt, direwolf
Yeah.
teeth, 8 vulture talons, 2 giant snake fangs, and then the bronze dragon tooth.
Okay. Okay, and we're gonna put together plate armor. And do you want an axe or a hammer or? Yeah.
I want to try to stick with what he kind of fights with as right now.
Yeah.
So I think he just fights with is it battle axe? Let me
Yeah,
check.
I think so.
Yeah, so he's just running with a battle axe right now. So
Okay.
I think that's one-handed, so he can use the shield still. So
Okay. Sweet. So we'll do plate armor, a battle axe, and then Lena's dagger.
now I don't know if because the thing is he has 4 different stones.
Mhm.
I don't know if using any of them would be beneficial for anybody or not.
Yeah. Okay. So which ones do you have?
All right, so we wrote. I wrote everything down. This is so nice.
I know, right?
What notes? What? So I have 2 onyx,
Okay.
1 amethyst, and 1 ruby.
For 350 gold, Onyx is used a component of the spell Animate Dead. Ooh.
Ooh, I can have minions. I can have skeletons.
Interesting. Okay, that's something we could
You
play
are
around
a
with.
minion.
So I'll open that up because that's interesting. Ooh, Maddie, thanks so much for the resub. Hey, no party like a 6-month party. Ooh, thanks, Maddie. Okay, so we have
Thanks for the
Onyx, we have
resub.
Amethyst, and what else?
And 1 ruby.
And 1 ruby. Okay. Let me find these folks. I'm just trying to see. Amethyst. Okay. Amethyst is reputed to prevent drunkenness.
Oh no, I can't get. Well, I mean, I guess I can't get drunk. I can drink all the beer I want.
So
Ivan needs to keep this down.
I mean, like if you had it in your battle axe or something, maybe it would prevent you from.
I get drunk in the second we have to have fight. I don't have to worry about being drunk.
Exactly. You just have to like hold it. Onyx was the animate dead, so I'll look into that a bit more, see if there's anything we can play around with there. Amethyst is prevents drunkenness. Nothing else totally exciting from this site that I found. And then we had a ruby. What does our rubies do? Ruby. Yeah, the ruby's like 5,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's what I'm holding on to.
And it's reputed to bring good luck.
Good. It's going to give me good luck to sell it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the ruby is probably how we'll pay for this.
Correct. That's what I'm attempting to do.
Yeah. Great. Cool. And then the onyx and the amethyst. Like, you could use them if you wanted. Let's see if there's anything else interesting for the amethyst. Trying to see if there's anything else sort of interesting. Oh, okay. Amethyst was one of the 9 secrets used in the creation of Ion Stones. This is from like Forgotten Realm stuff, but the stone could also be used in the casting of spells that facilitated communication. So we could look at
I
something
can say hi to
like-
people.
Yeah, we could look at something like how you could use it to message people or something like that, maybe.
That'd be cool.
So we could look into that. Oh, and if being worn, amethyst gems of the highest quality, they can give a degree of resistance to spells that attacked the mind.
No, not my mind. Leave my poor mind alone.
Yeah, so it could give like resistance to that, maybe, of like
You could put that in the hollow.
mind affecting spells.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep this one too. Yeah, could prevent intoxication and neutralize poisons.
I don't need poisons. I'm good
So,
already.
Yeah. I feel like the communication or protecting the mind is kind of interesting components there. So we could like put it in the helm or something like that, and then you could talk to people through your helmet.
Oh yeah. There's one weird gem right in the middle of my forehead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So those are kind of thoughts. We can maybe craft that a little bit together, Mikey, after this session and see what we can figure out there. But I think that'll be cool. I think we can create something awesome. Really specific. Cool.
Right.
Do you want to lend any of your material for Lena's dagger?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll look at what we can do with that to help out Lena. Because I feel like, yeah, the snake fangs would definitely allow some sort of poison or that kind of thing, some sort of toxic stuff. Direwolf teeth would probably just be like attack and damage, I feel like. But
Same with the talons.
yeah, talons and direwolf teeth would probably be some good attack things. So
Oh, you could use one of the talons as the hilt. That would be looking cool.
Yeah. And then the bronze dragon tooth, definitely, like, bronze dragons are lightning, so I feel like that could give some pretty cool stuff. So, sweet. All right. That was fun. How did Ivan become the rich one? Yeah, from stealing things from the bank vault.
Steal from the bank.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I mean, to be fair, Ivan even practiced restraint. I was like, you are
I know.
literally in a bank vault. You tell me how much you want to steal, and you can steal it. Like, there isn't... You're gonna run out of pocket space before you run out of gold. So, whatever your morality allows you to do, you can pretty much do it. So the fact that Ivan only walked away with like 4 jewels is pretty, it's pretty surprising.
Yeah, and we rolled randomly too, so it was like I wasn't like looking for any of them.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, he takes down all the detail. He draws up like a few sketches for you. and lets you know that like he'll work on this, but it would probably take about a day to make sure that he gets like everything together. And yeah, he sort of has given you some options there if you want to sell off the ruby. Probably the best place to go would be Dinda, who's the sort of wine seller, as she's probably the one that would be able to accurately price that out for you.
And so he'll probably go that direction so he can have the funds. But I'm gonna have to step away from the mic for just a little bit. So
Okay.
anybody else do your turns?
Okay. Lena, anything else that you need to do? Your dagger is in. It will be crafted. It's paid for.
Yeah, somehow. Meanwhile, I'm looking in my inventory and being like, I have 10 torches. Can you?
yeah.
Can we add fire to my dagger with these torches?
The blacksmith, like Earl Thurl, he like kind of has some sympathy, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I could take a torch or two for your dagger. That sounds totally fair.
I just slide 2 torches out of my bag, like across the counter.
Are they like limited edition Argonis torches? Like,
Yeah, I got them for Argona, so it's very nice of them to give these to me.
they have little tags on them that are like Argonis's lawn care and torch services.
Yeah. But other than
High
randomly
quality.
giving this guy 2 torches, no.
Okay, excellent. Awesome. Vittore, what were you looking at?
Looking for bottles to basically like empty out the big bottles into small mouse-sized bottles.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, so there's definitely like a few places you could probably get like smaller bottles. You would probably want to go to probably like the magic store where Argonis is, because they'll probably have little bottles that they use for various spell components, to hold herbs and things like that. So something like the Arcana shop, like Jorah's Magic Emporium might be the place to go. Other than that, like tiny bottles, that's probably pretty specific to something like spell components, to be honest.
Then I guess I'm going there.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll take us back too, because then Argonis can continue on with that section as well. So yeah, Vittore, I'll say that you kind of were looking around a little bit. You were checking out different stores, but weren't able to really find something that had these like small bottles. But you kind of make your way back to the group and find Argonis at Jorah's Magic Emporium, and kind of notice that there's a bunch of like baskets and things that have various herbs and spell components that are in those tiny bottles. Jorah is still looking at this crystal for Argonis, so she doesn't notice you arrive in the store. So yeah, there's the bottles that are full of stuff, but she may have extras in the back if you kind of are looking around for them.
I'll ask when she returns.
Cool. Okay, Argonis, let's, so you were looking at the sort of 2 bigger pieces that she had. So she has a bag of holding and the cloak of protection, as sort of 2 bigger pieces that are in this store. Those are kind of the main things of interest, but everything else is sort of any spell components you might need.
Does she also have like potion components too, like herbs and
Yeah.
stuff like healing potions?
Yeah, so she doesn't have a lot of like made potions, but she's got like pretty much all the components you might need for that kind of thing. Very much like a general magic store where it's just like, it's like build your own stuff. So not a lot of like prepared things, but if you have the skill to make it, like she's probably got what you need.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm interested in the cloak and the bag of holding, but I know I'm probably never going to be able to afford it.
Yeah, let's see.
I'll walk up to the counter and ask her about, like, I'd just throw out a number, like how much those would be.
Yeah. She's kind of like staring into this crystal and trying to analyze it a little bit. Yes, the bag of holding, it's quite a nice one, good size. It comes at about 250 gold pieces. If you're interested in that one, let me know. It's been here a little while. Not a lot of use, I think, for most folks in town, but I could maybe part with it for a little less if you're very interested in it. The Cloak of Protection is a little bit more. It's a little bit rarer, probably about 500 gold pieces. But it's a product I get in every now and then, so I don't know if I'm big on haggling for that one, but the Bag of Holding hasn't been super popular, so I could maybe be
What?
interested in selling it at a little bit less if you've got something else in mind.
I do have this, and I pull out the other basilisk fang. I don't know how much this is worth. I collected this in my travels. Maybe we can work on the price and kind of throw this in with the trade.
She looks at the fang. So wait, that's a real basilisk fang?
As far as I know, yeah, the thing that attacked me definitely looked like a basilisk.
If that's a real basilisk fang, you can get quite a bit from that. I mean, basilisk oil is fairly expensive. To get a whole fang in there, I mean, I've never worked with one, but I'm sure it's got pretty good properties. So I would
And it's
probably
still
feel
good.
fairly dishonest even trading you for both the Bag of Holding and the Cloak of Protection. Like, I feel like it's worth at least that, if not more.
What if we say the bag of holding, the cloak, and enough herbs to make 4 health potions, and we'll call it a deal.
She looks at everything. I feel bad. I can't necessarily give you the proper price on that, but I feel like I'm getting the better deal out of this. So yes, take what you need of the herbs. Nothing in here will put me back too far, and I'd be happy to trade you for the cloak and the Bag of Holding. I think that's fair, considering I could maybe turn around and get the basilisk for a good price, but I just can't give you an accurate one.
I appreciate the honesty, and you're doing me a favor by identifying that crystal shard. So it's the least I can do. And then I look over and notice Vittori. Were you looking for something too?
Yes, and I try to jump on top of the counter, but of course I can't jump that high, but I'm stubborn, so I try.
I will pick him up and put him on the counter.
Oh, hello.
Wow, I can really jump high today.
What can I
Hello,
do for
hello,
you?
ma'am. Hello, ma'am, and I look into like a potion bottle and twirl my mustache so I look as fine as possible. I was looking for some really small bottles. You see, I'm a really small figure. I really need some health potions, some healing potions. But unfortunately, all those stupid merchants only sell big bottles. So I was hoping you could maybe help a poor mouse in distress to some little tiny bottles that he can use.
I mean, that seems fair. I understand. Yeah, I didn't think about how passing along potions in a large bottle would be kind of inaccessible to you. So, yeah, she kind of looks around. I use lots of smaller vessels for various components. You're welcome to empty bottles of that size. They probably won't hold a lot of potion, but I'm sure it would be a little bit more manageable.
I knew you could help me, ma'am. I knew you would be able to.
Yeah, I mean, are you folks in the same traveling party? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Oh yes, we've
Oh, yeah.
known each other for years.
Okay, you know what? The little bottles, they're really not expensive. I get them kind of extra from various pieces and craft them, so they're really not huge. So take however many you need. I'll throw it into this gentleman's purchase. As I said, I really think I'm getting the good deal, and tiny bottles are really not a big price. So take as many as you need. I'll bring you the empty ones as soon as I'm sort of done appraising this particular interesting component.
How much little bottles would I need to like basically empty out one big bottle?
Yeah, so I'd say probably for one of the bigger bottles of potion, I wouldn't say they're like huge bottles, but you'd probably need at least 5 smaller ones out of one of the big
Okay,
bottles.
so I
Yeah.
need about 15 small bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, I can completely. That's not a lot, so I can definitely give you 15 of them.
Yeah.
If it's not too
Question,
much of a
though.
trouble for you, ma'am.
Not at all. Not at all. They're, like I said, really easy to come by. I craft them really quickly, so I am happy to provide those ones for you.
Vittore breaks down and starts sobbing, but not really, but he just pretends to start sobbing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm just so happy you were helping me.
Okay. I'm very glad I could support you today. I'll grab those for you in a moment. Excellent. So I actually don't know either of your names, and I feel like I have some questions about this particular crystal you've brought in, and well, yeah, who are you folks? Where did you find this piece?
It's a bit of a story. So we kind of have you heard any news from the capital?
She
Give like
kind of raises her eyebrows at you.
I give Argonis a death stare, like, talk about it.
Are you like their most recent activities? As in the kind of impressive but dangerous and spontaneous tornado that rose up on the coast that shouldn't be there?
Yeah, that was terrible, ma'am. And we had to actually flee from the tornado. And I look at Argonis like, agree with me, because she can't know we are wanted.
Yeah, we were actually on our way to this town when the tornado blew past us, and we got caught up. We got caught up in it,
I see.
and
Roll me a deception check for both of you.
okay, 16, not bad. Do I have a modifier?
Where?
You said deception. 17.
17. Okay. Vittori?
I'm still looking for deception. There it is.
I'm gonna pat Vittorio on the head and cast guidance on him just in case.
I roll a 15, so I don't necessarily
Okay.
need guidance per se.
Let me roll for her here. Oh, she gets a super high. Nope, doesn't roll super high. She kind of sighs. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm glad that you got away. I know there was definitely some tragic deaths from that. We haven't heard a lot, but just as much as could be, I think, in a letter, and then rumors throughout town. I heard the tornado ripped the entire capital apart, and it's just destroyed. Also heard maybe some rumors that the princess had died. I don't know if that's the same, but it's a real shame. She's come to Lot quite often, and it's very sad to hear that might have been part of it. But yes, I did hear of it. But what does it have to do with this stone?
That's a great question. I looked to Vittori. How did we come upon this stone? Because I don't remember. And I kind of gave him a look. Like, what do we want to tell her?
Well, we went on a magical place. We found a magical place called Ternet, and there on that in that magical place there was a page where you could order those stones, you could order magical stones, but we didn't get the stone we wanted. I'm just Fedora starts like scratching his ears and like sweating a bit. Like, I hope she buys this.
Kirby was like, yeah. Kirby's trying to roll a deception check over here. Yeah. She obviously rolled poorly, so your deception is working. She's like still confused, but you know, believes that you're at least kind of telling her the truth or as much as you know about it. She's handling this crystal like really carefully. So that's super. I don't know who would have sold this to you, and I almost feel like it might have been really irresponsible, but it's a sanity gemstone, which really isn't worth all that much, but it's usually found in only one place in Talaman, and for it to make its way all the way down here is quite interesting. But not only that, but I don't know if you could sense it yourself. I don't know if you're obviously if you're here, you're a magic user, but there's a lot of power that at some point was in this crystal. I don't sense a lot of it now, but it feels very hollow, like it's been exploded. I don't really quite know how to describe it, but a lot of power was put into this crystal and it barely held it until I guess it didn't. But there's some dark magic that was here.
How much power did they put in this thing? Like, would it take more than one spellcaster to imbue it?
She kind of thinks for a second, takes another look at it. It's hard to say. I guess it depends on what spellcaster we're looking at. If you're talking about kind of a human spellcaster like myself, it would take probably a few people. But, I mean, a dragon could probably fill this up. An older, an elf possibly with a lot of experience could possibly fill it up, but over time, I don't know if this would be a single instance of one spell. This would probably have to be built up and planned very meticulously. Like, what I feel from it, and especially the fact that this is a shard of it and I feel like it's missing pieces, is this was loaded to the point where anything added to it would result in basically it exploding. Like, it was full to the brim, and that is very unusual for something like this. So I don't know if I could give specifics. If it really depends on what spellcaster it could be, but it was definitely dark from whatever it was. And I feel like I said, someone to sell it to you, I mean, they either didn't know what they had or they really did and they were trying to get rid of it to you.
See. Oh,
The most I know of it. Sorry, go ahead.
I look at Argonis and just mouth the word Daisy.
I kind of I nod my head. Well, thank you for at least giving us the information that you could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only other thing I can tell you is where the stone is usually found. Like I said, it's not something I would usually see down here on the coast. It comes from the deserts up north, the cold desert. I don't know who would mine up there, but this would be a stone from up north somewhere. So it's traveled a long way.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with stones like this. Like this is my first time seeing a stone of this size. So
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Like I said, it's not worth much anymore. They're not rare stones. It's just rare to see it here. So I'll give it back to you. But I caution that you don't show too many other people this stone. I don't know, like I said, why someone would give it to you. And If it has anything to do with what happened in the Capitol, I would very much caution against showing anyone else this particular piece.
I just nod and roll it back up in the piece of cloth I have it and place it into my bag.
Well, if you come across anything else, I would be very interested to know more. But yeah, thank you for bringing it to me. I'm intrigued, confused, but yeah. Let me grab your purchases for you. She kind of hustles off to go grab the bottles for Vittori and package up your bag of holding and the cloak.
So I guess we need to go and visit the desert eventually.
The desert, yeah. And we need to let the council know what we found out about this, because I'm sure they're going to want to know what Daisy's been up to.
Absolutely. Also, sorry if y'all hear my cat.
Meow. It's kind of funny because like the ambient sounds right now also have dogs barking, so it kind of fits, kind of works. Meow.
He just knows that.
Go ahead. He knows that, you said?
Yeah, he just knows that there's dogs. I mean, he can't hear it because I'm wearing headphones, and he just doesn't hear anything, but he knows it internally.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I feel like people need to hear me at this moment.
Absolutely.
So good. Cool. So yeah, she packages up your purchases for you. You hand off the basilisk fang. Yeah, I actually don't really know how much it is. I know, like, from what I've been able to find, like, basilisk oil is pretty expensive and pricey. So I would assume that basilisks are not something that people see very often or win against. So having a basilisk tooth is probably a pretty big thing. So yeah, I'd say it's worth quite a bit.
I was trying to look up the price, like the cost of a basilisk fang, and I could not find it anywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they're probably not that expensive. But yeah, that makes sense because you can use the blood in potions. You can use it for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I would kind of say that, like, in this world, I think a basilisk fang would be worth quite a bit. I think it would be a pretty hefty amount. Can confirm I've never found a basilisk. I don't think it's things that people come across very often. So yeah, I'm gonna make kind of the call on it that I would say it would be pretty rare and pretty valuable and useful for most, like, yeah, potion brewers or anything like that. Hence why the old potion brewer on the road was pretty excited to see it too. He probably swindled you out of it probably a little too
I
easily
just gave
as
away
well.
I just gave away two without knowing what I was giving away.
Yeah.
But I got it back in so it's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it would definitely be worth quite a bit. So I think it's an interesting one. But yeah. Excellent. So yeah, you've got your packages from there. I will definitely send you the information, but if anybody out there wants to know, bag of holding is basically a bag that can hold up to like 500 pounds of whatever you want to put in there, but will never actually weigh more than 15 to whoever is carrying it. Super useful. It has, like, there's some other specifics to it, like if you open the bag, like, it's like 2 feet wide kind of thing, and you can put quite a few things in there. You can actually put people in the bag, but I think it is a certain amount of time before they suffocate.
Depending on how long they can hold their breath.
Sorry?
Depending on how long they can hold their breath.
Yeah. What is it? Breathing creatures inside the bag can survive up to a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures, after which time they begin to suffocate. So if you have one person in there, they'd be able to breathe for 10 minutes. But if you had like 2 in there, they'd be able to breathe for 5. Yeah. So Wow. Super interesting. While placing a bag holding inside an extra dimensional space created by a handy haversack or portable hole or similar item instantly destroys both items and opens a gate to the astral plane. That's fun. So don't put this in another thing. People go in the bag with their head poking out, then they won't die. Fair. Be an interesting way to carry your friends.
I can just imagine like Ivan carrying the bag and all our heads sticking out, and Ivan
Right?
just.
Exactly. It can only carry 500 pounds, so you'd have to still keep it under there. So, you know, a dragonborn might be close, so you might not have to, might not be able to have too many people in there, but yeah, fair enough. You might be able to keep the Tory in there for a while. And then the Cloak of Protection, that one's quite a bit easier. It does say that it requires attunement, but you gain a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws while you wear the cloak. So that's pretty nice as well. That can be added on top of other things, of course. So yeah, definitely an interesting one to have to give yourself +1 for saving throws or AC. But I can send you that information too, but I'm sure you can find it as well, Dustin, if you want to add those into your sheet as well. I think those things should be on D&D Beyond.
They should. I can take a look.
Yeah.
And then I also have the 4 just regular healing potions.
Yeah, and then healing
Oh, the,
potions, you've got some. Yeah, they should be on there too. Awesome. Okay, where else are we? Ivan, are you back? Maybe not. I haven't looked at Discord in a little bit
I
here.
think so.
He's there, but I don't know
I
if
am
he's like.
here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Okay,
Hello,
so
here I am, Yaren.
all of you folks are done at your various shops. Ivan and Lena's weaponry and plate armor will take probably about a day for that to be put together as the blacksmith sort of works his way through it. And that's the marketplace. We don't have Cirrus with us at the moment, so we will assume that Cirrus is just working on finding a bakery somewhere out there.
On the bread.
Yeah. Where would you folks like to go next?
So do I need to hunt down a place to sell?
Yeah, you're right. The next place sort of you were told to go would have been Dinda's Dinda the wine cellar. So we need to sort of find that location if you're wanting to sell off your ruby at a decent price.
Correct. But other than that, I guess if anybody else needs to do anything.
No?
Nobody?
I'll
Nada?
give the 7 seconds of awkward silence. Awesome. Okay. Ivan, do you want to roll me? We'll roll me a quick little investigation check as you look for Dinda the wine cellar, just to see how long it takes you to find her. I don't think it would be like you wouldn't find her. It would just be like how long it takes you. So right now you've probably made it to Locke. It wouldn't take very long. It's not far from the capital, so it's probably like late afternoon by the time you sort of made it into town. So yeah, it's still kind of late afternoon, and yeah, roll me just a quick investigation check.
I got 16.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, you kind of wander out, you folks all sort of get back together, you show off sort of a few things that Argona's found, and Ivan and Lena kind of get everybody up to speed on the fact they're waiting for some weaponry and stuff to be made. And you spot across the street a big sign with some grapes on it, and you see that it just says wine cellar. No particularly fancy sign or anything, but you do see it is like a very well polished store. There's a window in the front of it displaying various bottled wines and all set up on nice little platters and things. And you see a few folks sort of doing little tastings. Definitely pretty hoity-toity, fancy little wine tasting happening at the wine cellar at the same time.
I spit in my hand and slick my hair back.
Perfect.
Gross.
What? What do you mean gross?
Pretty gross, yes, indeed.
Gross.
You know what? I don't know if I want to buy you that dagger now.
Well, you're not technically buying it since he's giving it to me for free.
Fine.
Cool. So you're all heading over to the wine cellar?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You make your way over.
Also,
Mhm.
I walk up to Argonis and just try to climb him while he's walking, and I think, that I can do that. I can do it. Yes, I can. I've climbed Ivan before. I can do it. Um, and I would like to ask him, like, are we going to share the news that basically Daisy's probably responsible for the tornado?
Yeah, I feel like as we're walking, I would have let them know what what's her name? Jorah told me. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna as we're walking, I'm gonna tell them what we were told.
Perfect.
Also, how are we going to tell the Kirby's this?
I
Because
mean, I did.
it's not around the corner.
Well, I did give Sneed and Snud one fragment of the crystal and told them to bring it to the council. So next time we see them, we could just let them know what we found out from this fragment and see if they can figure out anything else from the one I gave them.
Yeah, fair. Basically, it's from the same thing. So I
Yeah.
guess they have figured it out as well, right?
I would hope so. I just wanted to know for myself before we got back there, just to
Fair.
confirm my suspicions. I can't say that word.
That's a specimen.
Yeah. So yeah, like Kirby Council has been sent a piece as well. So they, yeah, like you said, may have already looked into it. So yeah, it's like you could notify them. You could trust that they've maybe looked into it themselves. Yeah.
There's no way to send them a message right now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, can I, just to be sure, quickly look for a post office or something and send them a little letter?
Yeah, you could look.
Greetings from
roll
Lost.
me,
Postman.
roll me like a quick. I want to say like history check? Question mark.
There we go.
What was it?
Oh, I said there we go, as in I found history because I had to.
Oh, okay.
18.
18. Okay, sweet. Yeah, you think for a little bit, you're like, maybe we should send them a message, but kind of in the back of your head, you think, will like a local post office have like a pigeon or something that actually knows how to get to Peekaboo? It's like Peekaboo's like, people know of it, they've heard of the Kirby's, but they're almost very mythical. Like people don't always know that they're actually real. Like people know the Kirby Council is a thing, but it's kind of like these fun little stories that get told, and they go like, "Watch out, Kirby Council might be watching," kind of thing. But you're not actually sure if there will be like a pigeon or something that's trained to go there because it's not somewhere that a lot of people travel to or have made their way to. Like you folks have all been like invited there. You were given specific instructions, like you've been there before, so it's much easier for you all to get there. But for other people, they've probably never stepped foot in Peekaboo and probably don't have a pigeon trained or like a crow trained to go there. So it might be less of like finding a regular place to send it in this coastal town.
You could send it to
Okay,
Ken
and Sweden's not just also knew the location, so.
Sorry?
So Sweden's not just happened to know the location as well. I figured Peekaboo was like on the maps and shit, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding you. I'm like, I think it's like cutting out for me.
I said-
yeah, go ahead.
I said, so Sneed and Snot just know where Peekaboo is, because I figured it was on the map and stuff, but it's not. They just
Yeah.
know where it is. That's why they could bring Argonis' message.
Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, it's not on a map. It's not where someone would go. So, like, for somewhere like this where it's not this, like someone in the capital may know where where Peekaboo would be, because, like, I'm sure there's people who would be involved or, like, ambassadors kind of thing. But here in, like, Locke, like, that's just not something that they would be aware of. So they probably wouldn't have anything particularly magical to get there. They just kind of have regular pigeon service to send to various towns, but they probably wouldn't have one for Peekaboo. So it would be a little bit harder to get a message to them. It wouldn't just be like walking into kind of like the local pigeon keeper kind of thing.
Okay, then I'm not going to the post office then.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had you roll the history check. It's like you could look, but you probably would walk into the post office and be like, I want to send a pigeon to Peekaboo. And they'd be like, no.
What's a peekaboo?
Yeah, what's a Peekaboo? Or they'd kind of laugh and be like, you're funny. Like, haha, Peekaboo, right. Yeah, the pigeon office, the post office, the PO. Exactly. I don't know what... Pigeon keeper? There's a thing. Like, it's, you know, it's a messaging service, I guess. Instant messaging. Yeah, so if you wanted to get a message to them, it would have to be, like, either a little bit more specific or planned out, or maybe something more on the magical side of things to try to get a message there. Yeah, but here in, like, this sort of side in this little town, it would probably be a little less easy to get it there.
You're going to try then.
Okay, so what's next? What are we looking for now? We're headed to the wine cellar.
Correct. I guess.
I thought
You
we
know,
were going to the wine cellar.
so, Argonis, did you get anything from your shop?
Well, I got this nice cloak that keeps me a little more protected if we get into a fight, and I got this, and I pull out this bag and just start pulling stuff out of it. I get a bag of holding.
I want that.
But I bought it.
I go to snatch it.
I move away so he can't snatch it.
You move faster than me?
I don't know. Let's see.
DM.
Okay, yeah. Are you actually trying to grab it?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Roll me opposing athletics checks for both of you.
I'm not very. Oh no, I'm very athletic. Okay.
Starts to complain.
Yeah.
Also, do I need to roll anything since I was on Argonis' shoulder?
Also,
Nope. I
no,
don't
I'm
think
not.
so.
I'm not grabbing you.
Yeah, this is like Ivan trying to grab the bag of holding and Argonis trying to dodge.
Yeah, but
Also, Argonis.
You could help Argonis if you want.
Yeah.
Or
Guidance.
like a help action.
Get guidance.
Oh, I did guidance.
I'm going.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Oh shit! No.
Yeah, well, if
Okay.
Vittori could offer a help action, maybe like you could poke Ivan as Ivan tries to grab the bag with like your rapier or something, and you know you could give the help action there for Argonis if you want.
My
So I
athletics
can-
check.
I'm going to see how it works out.
Okay. Dustin, you first.
I got a 7.
I got a 23.
Oh god. Ivan snatches the bag of holding.
I start trying to put things in it.
You've just like unloaded all that stuff at the
I know, right?
blacksmith
I don't have
too.
nothing left.
This would have been so
What
handy.
do I have left? I guess I'm just throwing like silver in there.
Yeah, you're just like finding things on the road and just like throwing it.
Dropping rocks.
Yeah. Trying to hear if they hit the bottom.
How much was this?
It. I actually got it for.
It was like listed at like 250 gold pieces, but you traded your basilisk fang, yeah.
I feel like I got the short end of this deal, but it was worth it. This will definitely come in handy for later.
I tried to put a torch in it. What
Like a lit
happens if I?
torch.
Yeah, I want to know what happens if you put a lit torch inside of a bag of holding.
I actually don't know.
I mean, I think it would
Does it
probably
go
be the
out?
same. It would probably be the same as like someone breathing. So it would probably burn for a while and then it would run out of oxygen.
I'm gonna here. Give me the bag back for a second. I'm gonna reach in and think about the torch that I just put in and try to pull it out and see if it's still lit.
Okay, and a bag.
Okay, so you're gonna try to pull the torch that was just put in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
want to see if it's still lit.
yeah. I would say yeah. Like you pull the torch back out and it's like kind of sputtering because it was probably like lying on its side or something. But like you can still see that it's like burning a little bit.
Okay, good to know. You want your torch back?
Nah, I figured you can hold it for now.
I'll put it back in the bag.
I wasn't going to keep it. That'd just be rude. I just wanted to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah,
I
rules wise, I
forgot.
would say it's like someone breathing. So I would probably say it would burn for a certain amount of time, run out of oxygen, and then go out. What I wouldn't know is whether or not it would burn everything else in the bag.
I think it
I want to put a small rabbit in it now.
Oh god. Ivan looks for rabbits.
Alright, I'll pull the torch back out and snuff it out before putting it back in.
Oh, you're no
So
fun.
I got, well, I'll probably have to take a short rest to create the potions, but I got enough components to make 4 more health potions. So, Lena, if you need some, or if anybody else wants some. Okay. But yeah, where are we going?
Oh, so Lena and I we're getting imbued
married.
stuff.
Oh,
Huh?
you said Lena and I were getting, and I said married. And
No,
then
I'm
you
already
said-
married. Stop it. My wife is home. She's not happy.
It was just, I guess.
But no, I was I'm trying to get new armor and we're getting weapons. But I need to sell this shiny rock. And they told me to go sell it over here at this shop, the wine shop. Good talk.
And let's go and
I need
sell
a
the
beverage.
shiny rock.
Yeah. Onward.
Cool. All right. You head on over to the wine cellar. I'm sorry, Kirby is like having a great time. You head on over to the wine cellar. Ivan's picking up rocks, throwing them in the bag of holding as you go. Argonis and Ivan are testing out the constraints of the bag of holding. You make your way over to the wine cellar, and you, like I said, there's people outside. They're tasting these various wines. Obviously, a very popular store. Where you'd probably go to like celebrate a nice occasion and pick up like a nice glass of wine. Definitely a little more high quality than your usual inn or tavern. You kind of arrive, you see that there is an elven woman who seems to be sort of the main person who's walking around and serving the wine to everybody, greeting everybody as they kind of go by. She has like blonde hair, these really piercing gray eyes, but like a super hooked nose, which looks really interesting. Like elven features are usually very like smooth and kind of, you know, very elven, and she has this weird nose that she has, which is like a really striking feature on her face. But she seems to be like in good spirits. People seem to know her and like her, but she kind of has like a almost like a vulture nose, I would say. But everyone seems to like her. She seems to be a happier person, and she's handing out wine to everybody and going around giving this wine tasting.
I try to comb my hair a little bit more.
She looks up at you as you all join. Hello, welcome to the wine cellar. Can I interest you in any of our fine wines today?
Yes. What's your best wine?
Ooh, that's a great question. It really depends on your tastes. Do you prefer more fruity wines or more of a dry wine? She looks you up and down. To be fair, you don't actually seem like a wine drinker, but I would love to find the perfect wine for you.
Okay. Well, you see, I like mead. So do you have any honey wine?
Her eyes kind of twinkle at you. Actually, I am experimenting a bit with honey-infused wines, so I can find you a bottle of that if you were interested.
That
I
sounds
have to
amazing.
warn you, it is not on the shelf yet. I haven't perfected
Okay.
it, but you could be a good tester.
I would love to test this honey fused wine.
Perfect. Maybe you could help me name it as well. She sort of like laughs in this like little tinkly laugh, puts her hand on your shoulder, Ivan. Well, find yourself a table and I will be back shortly. Do we like cheeses or chocolates or things like that with our wine tasting today, everybody?
Look down at Moss Man. I'm like, cheese, cheese. You like cheese?
Perfect. Any other requests?
I don't. They're all muted.
Someone's mowing the lawn right outside, so I can't.
Break the fourth wall.
Yeah, totally. Just Argonis is making some extra cash on the side as everyone's getting their wine tasting. Argonis is over here mowing local lawns.
That's years.
Argonis is like, I gave away my Basilisk Fang. I gotta make some cash here. Yeah, she laughs again, gestures to that there's like a few sort of empty tables. They're kind of like cocktail tables, so there's not really chairs to them. They're just sort of standing tall tables. But she sort of gestures away to those and then kind of disappears back into the shop to go find this honey-infused wine she has created.
All right. So Ivan's going to look around to see all the other people and see how they're acting, and he wants to try to mimic what they do when they're tasting the wine. So he's really trying to focus on how they do it.
Yeah, perfect. So there's definitely like a mix. You can see there's like sort of the probably higher end folk who do this quite often. They're, you know, doing the whole wafting thing and like lightly tasting their wines and describing the palate and all of those sorts of things. And then you have sort of a few other folks who are this is probably a treat for them. They probably are doing the same thing as you. They're kind of looking around to see how everybody else is tasting the wine and observing it and like trying to copy it a little bit. But Ivan, roll me maybe a performance check to see how well you mimic this wine tasting affair.
A lot more than I was expecting.
Ooh.
16.
This is like a chair thing.
Right? I was hoping for a 1 because I had a great idea. I was going to sniff the wine and it would just go in my nose or something.
Ivan is preparing his wine drinking ability. Like, you don't even have a glass of wine yet, but you're like, you have like your hand in the air. You're doing the whole like waft thing. Like, you have a glass of wine and you're practicing, and you actually like look like you know what you're doing. You still don't quite look like you totally belong. You're in like your armor and, you know,
Right.
obviously a super tall Goliath standing in the middle of this wine tasting, but you seem to know what you're doing. She arrives back at the table. She has a bottle of this wine. It doesn't have a label on it or anything, but it's a beautiful like amber colored wine. And she brings a few glasses to the table as well, carries over a platter of various small cheeses, and begins pouring this wine for you. Now, this particular batch I've actually had down in the cellar for about a year now, so it's quite a young wine. But again, I'm testing, so you know, this year I have another batch going, but that won't be opened until next year. So it'll be really good to have your feedback here, and so I can come back to this and make sure that I have excellent honey-infused wine for those individuals who prefer that kind of flavor. So please, your feedback is greatly appreciated, and if you do return next year, I hope the next batch will also be what you would like. So enjoy. The cheeses are also local, and I have other local goods as well if you're interested in a little bit of that, fresh local flavor. I also did include, of course, some fish from our fishermen right off the dock, fresh this morning. I go every morning, so please enjoy, and I'll just be around if you need me at all. I'm Dinda, by the way. I'm the owner of the wine cellar.
Dinda. I'm Ivan. I start wafting around. Nah.
Excellent to meet you, Ivan. I see that you seem like you've done this before. I apologize that I didn't think you were a wine drinker. You do seem like you know what to do in the situation.
Yes, I don't like to brag, and I don't want to have my appearances to be something of what they may not be. So I try to keep myself humble.
I totally understand. That is admirable. And what about the rest of you? What are your names? And what brings you here?
My name is Mickey Mouse.
Mickey, it is so nice to meet you. I did bring you a smaller glass. I don't quite have the exact right size for you, but hopefully it's a little bit easier for you to access the wine as well.
Is it like small enough for me to lift it, or just a smaller human glass?
It's like a shot glass, so it's probably like you'd have to like wrap your arms around it. But like you could probably lift it. It's small enough you could lift it, but it's like a shot glass size.
Is it big enough for me to jump in?
You could probably put your feet in. Your whole body probably wouldn't go in there.
Yeah, shot glasses are kind of small.
In that case, I'm going to just jump in head first, but my feet grab the edge of the glass with my tail and my my legs, and just start drinking that way.
Okay. um
Sorry, some of my fellow creatures are not as they haven't had any wine before.
That's completely understandable.
Excuse me, Ivan. This is the way we drink wine in my home country.
Oh, yes. I am grateful that you bring your customs here, Mickey, Mr. Mouse. I do appreciate it, and if you're staying for a while and you want to share any more of that with our fellow guests here, you are more than welcome. I'd love to hear more about the wine culture where you are from. I don't do so much traveling anymore my own, but I used to do quite a bit to taste wine in various areas of the world, so that it does really interest me.
We're actually like travelers, so we're not going to be here for that long.
Oh, that's a shame, but I understand. And thank you for taking your time while you were traveling to stop by here.
Now,
It's our pleasure.
Dindra was her name?
Dinda, yes.
Dinda, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm not great with names. So not only did I want to come over here for your wine, but I also heard that you like some of the other finer things in life.
Oh.
That I heard that you might be interested in gems, possibly.
Well, you did hear right. Yes, wine selling is sort of my main, I want to say profession, but it's my passion for sure. But I do also do appraisals of various gemstones or sort of high-end antiques, things like that. Just from my various travels, I've seen quite a bit. So I do have appraisal services if that is what you're needing, and I do buy those things as well. I do have a small fund set aside for buying and selling of high-end.
Do you have a more private location around here that we could discuss?
She nods. Yes, of course. My back office is probably where I would do most of my appraisals of this sort for your privacy as well. So, how about you enjoy your wine, and I will actually be closing up tastings in about half an hour or so. So, just
Good,
when
good,
the
good.
clock strikes, if you want to go through any sort of appraisal services, I'll clean up and you can meet me at the back office.
Oh, that is perfect. Thank you. And this tastes amazing. My palate has been changed.
Wow, thank you so much. That is amazing feedback, and I'm so glad. Like I said, I haven't had anybody taste this yet, so it can go either way. I had a blackberry infused wine a couple years ago that was an absolute atrocity, so very good to hear that this one was pleasing, and I'll definitely keep working on it. I did say as well that if you had a name for the wine, I would love to hear it. I like to allow my guests to name any new wines, and your crew seems like a very interesting adventuring party. Do you have a particular name you would give this wine?
California
Do
raisins meet bumblebees.
No, no, no. Let's call the wine Vittore. It's a great name for a wine.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Both those
Ooh.
seem interesting. Any other thoughts?
Lena, what about you? What do you think?
No. And then Lena just chugs an entire glass.
Really? Come on.
Lena is
No.
actually a beautiful name. Lena is a wonderful name. Would you mind? Could I name this wine Lena?
I think that would be amazing. This taste, this aroma just screams her name to me.
What about Sweet Lena?
Yes. I
Lena
love
just
it.
staring and like horror like over her glass. Excuse me. No.
Love it.
Oh.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Sweet Lena wine. I cannot
No.
wait.
No.
I look forward to having that
No.
on my official menu next year, and I do hope that you can come back through town then, Lena, to see your namesake
No.
wine. I can see the label now as well. Pink flowers, honeybees, Sweet Lena. It's gonna be fantastic.
Lena puts her head in her hands. No.
Perfect.
I'm just
So,
here for alcohol.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all, honey? Oh,
Aren't we all?
God. All right, I will go finish up and wrap up here, but do meet me back when you are ready for that appraisal, Ivan. Looking forward to seeing what you have today. And she sort of
Perfect.
floats off to help the other guests and do a bit of like tidying up around the wine cellar.
Guys, look at this. I'm a wine tester.
Oh.
I'll be
You might be a
fine.
wine
No.
tester, but I'm a wine diver.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm trying to butter this lady up.
No.
Well, why do you talk about wine then? You might as well talk about butter then. If you want to butter
No,
her up.
you know what? You're right. Sorry. I will
know
try
I'm
to
right,
wine her
but
up.
I have to watch them.
That doesn't sound good. I don't want to wind her up. She's going to punch me.
Well, this is a wine taster or a wine taste event.
Wine tasting? Yeah. You see what I
That's
did?
what I meant.
I was overhearing
not
that other
a
table
Butter tasting event.
about palates and smelling and I don't know what the hell I was talking about. I was talking out my ass.
Yeah, obviously. Lena
don't-
steals
we
the glass in
noticed.
front of him.
Look, I think that's a good name for the wine. It's okay.
Lena chugs his glass of wine. Even if he didn't have one. She drank it.
Excellent. You finish up your wine, you snack on the cheeses on the platter. Various other guests start like departing. Some of them a little more drunk than they should be after a wine tasting. They all sort of depart from the store. The sun is like starting to set as it becomes like more into evening time. And yeah, she's tidied up the rest of the tables. She gives you all like a quick wave, gestures towards the office, like kind of when you're ready, sort of thing, and
Yep.
heads towards the back of her little shop.
If you guys don't mind, I'm going to see what I can do. Just awkwardly walk off.
You awkwardly walk off, leave your friends at the table, and you head back. So yeah, you go through her little shop. So the front of it's almost like a cafe, but it's got, you know, wine barrels and lots of like bottles of wine everywhere. And then of course like her little like cheese setup and things like that. So the front's more like a little cafe. And then as you kind of go back, you see her back office, and it's like it's not a small office, it's very much like a big storage room sort of idea. You can see there's various like shiny objects that she's got back there, and she sort of has like a collection in this back office where she obviously does this appraisal type work. She has a big desk set up that's got all sorts of tools on it, and glasses and things like that that she can look at things really closely. And yeah, she welcomes you in. Oh, Ivan, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you have. I feel like someone of your wine taste must be bringing something interesting to me as well. Either take a seat, or if you're okay standing, that works as well. But what do you have for me?
So I have acquired some of the finer things, and I start digging through, and I pull out a ruby.
She kind of
And
like
I was wanting
gasps a
to see
little.
this appraised.
Well, if that is what it appears to be, Ivan, you are a man of good taste. May I take a look?
Yes, yes, yes. I hand it over.
She sort of delicately takes it from you, places it in this little like cushion on the table, and sort of swings over various magnifying glasses, like turns on this little like lantern to the side that's like magnified onto the jewel, and begins taking a look through the jewel itself. Turns it over, like pulls on little jeweler's gloves and things like that. Really gets in there and takes a decent look at it. Wow, this is a wonderful example of a pristine ruby, Ivan. Where did you come across such a jewel?
During my travels, I do a lot of trade. I had a lot of things I was able to accomplish, and it wound up with me.
It is stunning. Now, if I were to give it a price, it is in very good condition.
Mm.
I'd probably say 4,250 gold pieces, so 4,250.
Really? That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think it is a very good looking jewel. I could either buy it myself, which I'd be happy to do. I think it would add a great piece to my collection, or I could also sell it to various jewelers. It's definitely a wonderful piece that could be put into anything, really. So I think it's got lots of potential and options. Something of this size, anybody would want in their collection. So I'd definitely be willing to take it off your hands.
Then you would want to take it off my hands for the same price that you appraise it
course.
at.
Of course.
Then I think that sounds wonderful. Great wine, and I get to add a lovely stone to your collection.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for bringing this to me, Ivan. I know that there are other people in town, but I promise you they would have completely lowballed you on this one. So you came to the right place. I definitely do this as another hobby, so I like to come at it with honesty, and I believe this is a really beautiful piece. I'd be happy to
That's.
take it.
I think it's going to have a great home here with you, and the sweet Lena, Lalani. I can never remember her name sometimes.
Is it Lani? Did I say it wrong?
No, I always say it wrong. I think it's Leanne.
Okay. Sweet Leanne? It has a different ring to it.
Yeah,
I like
no,
Sweet Lena. Do you think she would be angry if I made it Sweet Lena still?
no. I think that'd be great.
Okay.
But
I'm
I
gonna
think
keep
that's
it. I like the
that's an
ring.
amazing name for it. It tastes amazing. I truly appreciate all of that. And so let me just make sure I put the correct amount into my money bag.
Um, she takes you. She brings out like this ornate chest as well. It has like 10 different locks on it. Seems to also be like a bit like a magical identification as well. Swings it open, and she has quite the stash of gold and silver in this little chest. She dishes out a good amount of gold into a big bag for you. I'm sorry, this is probably fairly heavy for you. Like, it's a lot of gold, so if you'd like, I can trade in other value. But if you're just looking for the coin, this is the way to go.
Do you got some platinum?
Yes, I most likely do. Let me get that. I keep that in a little bit more of a safer location.
Okay, that'd be great. I'll just hold on to that.
Perfect. So she kind of gives you like the 50 extra gold pieces, and then she brings out the platinum. I think it's like 100 gold per platinum piece, right?
It's 10 gold per platinum.
Okay, so still quite a bit of platinum.
Yeah.
But definitely reduces the size of this big bag of gold that she had for you. And she hands you over the platinum and then sort of the extra additional pieces there of gold if you needed any. So yeah, you.
The grand total is
4,250.
2,050. Okay. There they go. All right, 420 platinum and 50 gold.
Nice.
Jesus. All right.
She.
I'm
Right. She places the jewel like in a nice case back on one of the walls. Kind of shows you out through the door and locks the office door behind her. Well, thank you so much for coming by. This was quite the day. I had someone taste my new wine and got a pristine ruby. Couldn't ask for a better day, that's for sure.
That was a blessed day. I had so much fun.
Well, Ivan, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to close up shop. Say goodbye to your friends for me. It was excellent having all of them here, and I hope I see you on your next travels through Locke.
Next time I'm in town, I will definitely stop by.
I hope so. She waves you goodbye and locks up shop.
Bye, friends. And I just walk away.
You're like, I am going on vacation. But yeah, so you've got all the pieces that you kind of need. Do you want to just say that you've kind of gone back and paid the blacksmith?
Yeah, so he just needed 1,000 right now?
1,000 right now, and then 750 on pickup kind of thing.
All right, so 1,000 would be 100 platinum.
Perfect.
Right. I paid him that.
Awesome, yeah. So you've paid the blacksmith. He thanks you. He sort of has already started kind of collecting up the pieces because he was fairly excited, been designing it up. So he gets to work right away on that. Perfect. Anything else? The market's kind of closing up now. It's nearing the end of the day. Anything else that anybody needs in the market at this point?
Anybody?
No, I think
Okay.
So
I gotta stay for the night for my stuff.
So I guess we find an inn to stay at. Maybe
Yes, we probably should.
around about a boat.
Surrounded by wolves? What?
No. Maybe we can ask about a boat at the inn.
Why would we have a boat at an inn? That's weird. When they have a boat at a dock?
But if there's anybody staying at the inn that owns a boat at the dock that we can rent or borrow.
In the tree, and I know. Okay.
Let's just find someone else.
All right, we're going to look for inns, I guess.
perfect. Yeah, so the market itself is mostly just shops, but you do kind of talk to a couple local people and just sort of ask for any general directions of an inn. They kind of let you know that there are a few inns sort of scattered throughout town, and a lot of them recommend the floating inn, which is down on, of course, the beach side near the docks. They all kind of say, like, this is the place to stay if you're in Lock. It's sort of a mid-price, but it's actually like a big vessel that's sort of been attached to the land and acts as an inn, and it's like the pride and joy of of Locke's sort of tourist destinations.
We go in.
Cool.
Go in. Because it's an inn.
Ooh, you suck.
Fuck you, Mikey.
I forgot about that.
I've been holding it all day.
So good. I love it. So you kind of head towards this floating inn, and as you come across it, of course, just like the rest of this like quaint oceanside town, this big floating vessel that's attached to the docks itself. It's called the Flying Unicorn 2. But it's this beautiful boat that's been obviously converted into an inn itself. So the guest rooms are kind of all lit up cozily on the side. You see as you go in up the sort of gangway onto the boat, it's all kind of lit up with candles. And as you kind of make your way inside, it's like the main deck is a bit of like a small-ish tavern space, so where you could get drinks or, you know, food and various things like that. Sort of just the kitchen galley that what offerings they could make, and then there's a little desk with a human standing there. She greets you kindly and welcomes you to the Flying Unicorn 2.
We need a room or two.
Of course, for sure. We have various rooms available this evening, and we haven't had quite the influx of tourists at the moment, not quite the high season, but we do have a lower bedroom. There's no windows or portholes on that one, so no view, but it is a very cozy one. That's sort of the lower end price. We do also have the main captain's quarters is available this evening, so that's the bigger space with the wraparound windows. It is beautiful, an excellent space with access to the deck as well. And then we do have various, like, let's say, let's check. We've got two other of our sort of mid-range. They just have like a porthole, so you can still see outside, and they're just cozy single bed rooms.
Perfect. How many do we want?
I just need a room with a workspace to make the potions for everybody.
Perfect. Well,
So
I would
I
say
need
one of our mid rooms definitely has table space. It's a good one for anyone who is traveling on work occasions. That might be a good one for you, sir.
We'll
Take
take it. Ah, see? Ah, look at we. Ah. Ah.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
I have no clue.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you take
I'll-
that one. Okay. Perfect. Everybody else just want a mid room or settle up. There's like the basement room, another single room on the mid level, and then like the captain's quarters, which would be a bit more pricey.
I will go to the basement because I just need to go to bed.
Sure. Yeah, you take the basement room. That one's gonna be definitely less expensive. So basement room for Lena. There's another middle room, and then the captain's quarters. Ivan, which one are you going for?
I want to lay in the workshop.
You want to stay with? Okay, you're gonna take the workshop room.
Yeah.
So Argonis isn't even getting the workshop room? Is that what you're saying? Or you're just gonna
No,
sleep in the same room?
I'm going to
while
share.
he
I'm
works?
sharing it with him.
Cool.
I'm
Okay.
going to be a cheapskate.
Vittori?
I usually sleep in Ivan's pocket, so
Cool. Okay.
wherever he goes, I guess I'm going to.
For sure. So yeah, for Lena, that will be 5 silver pieces for your room in the bowels of the ship, kind of thing.
Sounds amazing.
And for the other 3, it's just 8 silver pieces for the kind of room that's on the mid-floor level. So 8 silver pieces like in between you, or just someone pays 8 silver pieces, but not too bad.
No, I'll
see.
pay 8 silver pieces. I can do that.
Okay, Vittori,
Okay.
generously.
I'm currently broke.
Ivan has no money.
Yeah.
Can't share.
Yeah, you're well. Okay.
I am not. I mean, if you guys
Oh,
can
wait.
hold me up tonight, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
I have 2 silver pieces and a lot of gold pieces, so what's okay, so 10 silver
It's
pieces.
10 silver
1 gold.
pieces. Yeah.
Okay, so if I pay 1 gold piece, I'll get 2 silver pieces back. Right?
Yes.
Math.
Wow,
we can
all
just
of
leave
this
it-
for
I
like
can't-
silver pieces.
Or we
I
can just
can't
leave it
do-
to just give it 1 gold piece.
That's also, yeah, let's do that. That's
It's a lot
I
easier.
need to redeem myself. I need to redeem myself after stealing from that
All right,
old man.
so you tip them and pay a gold piece instead.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Yes.
Pay them a gold piece. She seems pretty happy about that. She also gives you some complimentary little like snacks for the room to take with you, just to thank you for your little tips there. So she gives you a couple little like dried, like smoked salmon type things to take with you back to your rooms. As you folks sort of leave the desk, the little galley kitchen area here, where there's a few tables, you at first thought it was empty, but you notice that there's someone sitting in the corner. They have a cloak up over their face, and they're not sort of facing your way. But as you sort of notice her, the girl at the desk kind of gives like a nervous glance over to the figure in the corner. She whispers to all of you before you leave. Just so you know, we do have a tiefling staying with us today, so have had no issues at all. But if she causes you any trouble, please just let me know.
A
If she causes us
tiefling.
any problems, I'll take care of her.
I would prefer that we don't fight on the boat, but I appreciate that you are confident.
I can throw him off
No.
the boat.
See,
Not throwing
no.
anyone off the boat.
when I say
Mhm.
I'll take care of something, that doesn't include fighting. That includes ending them while they're asleep. And I give
I
my
also don't
cutest.
want
You're like the
look at
worst
her.
assassin ever. If you're going to tell everybody.
Yeah, let's not do that. Like I said, she has caused no issues, but I know that can be uncomfortable with a tiefling. But she, I promise, has had no issues. Just let us know though if anything comes up.
Will do.
Fine. If you don't like fun.
Enjoy your stay, and let us know if you need anything. I'm here at the desk. I am on the night shift, so I'm here all night.
You enjoy our stay too.
She looks confused. Well, do you head off to bed?
I
Yes.
head off to Ivan's pocket. That's all I know.
Okay.
Oh, just wow! Just all of us are going to be in this one room, and then okay.
Well, we could have been separate.
No,
I would've been totally-
I want this workshop.
But I'm using the workshop.
I know. That's fine. I'll sleep in the corner. You'll be fine.
There could have been another room with a bed you could have slept in. Why do you need the workshop?
Things.
Argonis, can I also use the workshop to just fill up my tiny bottles?
Sure, I will scoot down to the edge of the table and just pull out my alchemy set to make the potion.
Excellent. So everyone sort of heads off to their rooms. Lena heads down to the room on the lower deck. Ivan, Argonis, and Vittori hang out in the workshop room. Ivan snores away. Argonis and Vittori work into the night, distilling potions and creating various potions as well. And deep in the night, as you folks are working, Ivan snoring, you hear a knock at the door.
I run up to the door and knock as well.
Well, that doesn't help.
So you knock back on the door.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You there's like a pause and then another knock.
I knock again.
Lena, is that you?
I don't think it's Lena.
I don't think it's
Because
Lena either.
Lena wouldn't have knocked. Lena would have stabbed the door with dagger.
Fair. I'm going to grab my staff and kind of crack the door open and look outside.
You crack the
wanna
door
wake me up?
open.
I'll keep my crossbow ready.
Ivan, are you awake?
I don't think I am. They should have woke me up.
Okay. Argonis, you have your staff. Victoria, you've got your crossbow ready, and you crack open the door. You see peering back at you is this tall tiefling. She looks at both of you. I don't know if I recognize you, but I definitely recognized the large Goliath that was with you. I don't know if he remembers me, but I'm Poetry. We met in the Cold City. Can I come in? And that's what we're on
Yell out for
today.
Ivan to wake up.
Well, Ivan snores away. But we'll end it there for today.
Dang it, I was just about to just yell, Ivan, wake up! There's a visitor for you.
Ivan has too many women in his life. He needs to stop.
Right? Exactly. Made too many friends. But I'm trying to remember, because I think, Victoria, you were in the Cold City as well, right?
Yeah, the
think
Cold
you
City
were.
murders. I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I think you were.
I was
So,
there, but I don't remember this person.
Okay. You may
No, I
or
don't
may
remember
not
Poetry.
recognize her. And I'm
I
trying to
definitely
remember.
will.
Yeah, someone
Like,
saved her
what
in the
was
Cold
her
City, so
role?
she was there. She was one of the. Actually, like, roll me a history check. See if nobody even like remembers, we just won't remember her.
Like,
No,
I don't
I-
remember her, but they might.
Yeah, like we'll see like if your characters.
Oh,
even remember.
Vitore doesn't know her either.
Okay.
Vitore
I'm 10,
was
so I
was
might
once
kind
or
of remember.
four.
Okay, so Ivan, you maybe have like an inkling, like you don't really remember. You might not remember her face, like you're still asleep anyway, but you might not remember her
Yeah, yeah.
face. But because she mentioned the Cold City, you do remember when you were investigating those murders, there was a suspect that was a tiefling that the party rescued while she was being attacked by like.
Well, yeah, I
various
saved her.
people.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
I did a thing.
I don't remember her.
Yeah.
I
I
think the party was
think we-
split at that point.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we fought him off.
Yeah.
I think I just like dashed in there and just knocked the other guys down.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was sort of being attacked by like various like bandits or just people in town that didn't like tieflings. And she was a suspect in the murder, basically just because she was a tiefling and like for no other reason. So you folks rescued her from that, and yeah, so this is her. So you'll like kind of have that general thing. You may or may not remember. Like at a 10, I'll let you pick how that works for Ivan, like whether or not he would remember or if he would not. But yeah, you briefly remember a suspect maybe being a tiefling in the Gold City, but yeah, it's pretty much about there. All right, everybody.
Sweet.
Good session of sort of the in-between, which is great. I'm glad that we got some shopping done. I know it was
It was nothing but shopping this
a
time.
long-awaited,
All of the shop.
pause. So that was awesome. Thank you all for watching for this more chill episode. We didn't really have any fights or anything, but it was relaxing. We had a wine tasting, and
Was fun.
yes,
I love that my performance was so good that he actually sounded like he knew what the hell he was talking about.
yes, Ivan became fancy. Too bad there were no chairs to show off his fancy
Nope.
chair skills as well.
Best chair
But,
skills ever.
made some money. We're getting some things built, and looking forward to the next session. So I don't think it'll be too long before the next one. Most of my weekends are fairly free on Sundays, so it should be pretty soon that we will see either this one or possibly the Hell Arc again as well. So thank you all for joining us. Any sort of last thoughts or feelings? Anybody streaming out there? Did Lena go the whole thing without stabbing? Yes.
No stabs.
I did threaten.
She
I
did
threatened
threaten.
Ivan.
Yes.
Did threat.
Yeah, it's
Mhm,
not an
mhm.
episode unless Lena
I'm
threatens
proud of
someone with a
Lena.
knife. So
Yeah.
we did have that, which is good. But I'm excited to see Lena and Ivan's new weapons when those are created. So looking forward. I'm gonna definitely reach out to both of you, Ames and Mikey, and we can sort of work out what those things might look like, and that way they are kind of what you're hoping for, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Right?
Woo! All right, everybody, have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you so much for playing. I will double check. I don't know if anybody is out there streaming at the moment. Let's
Nudge
see.
is currently live. Don't know if she's
Ooh.
like the D&D person to raid, but we
And
could
I
still raid
know
Nudge.
is Nudge streaming for much longer?
I
Yeah,
don't
why did he punch
know.
me? Argonis! I'm asleep.
Fight.
There were no fights.
Let's raid. Let's raid. We're gonna raid Nudge. Boop boop.
Nudge, nudge.
Because Ken's Tavern hasn't followed her yet. So we're gonna go follow Nudge. Even if Nudge might be done soon. Alright everybody, this was awesome. Thank you so much for playing. We will see you folks soon. If you aren't already in the Discord, please join the Discord if you want to know more about D&D and when we are playing next. If you're interested at all in playing or joining us, please again join the Discord and you can find some more information there and hang out with us. Say hello. We appreciate all of you being here. Thank you, Maddie, Lady Echoes. Who else did we have in today? Jag was here today. Appreciate it. Space Goddess, thank you so much for being here. Super appreciate it. And I know there was another name I saw. Zephyr, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for the resubs today. Thanks for the hydrates today. And see you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.